Cross unit, whoop, whoop, cross unit, amen. 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 It's Brother Maverick. Don't make a statement when you come up that you may pretend. Don't be just asserting lame positions that you can't defend. I'm here to debate the truth right now, not just to make a friend. Day I sense the demons in your voice, that's when my patience ends. Make no sense of what exactly are you bragging over. I hope you reflect on this today, that your anger sobers. I ain't handing over no control to random copers who cannot control their own emotions. Let the damn flow over, you don't get it, you don't know cause you don't introspect. You a body and I can tell you run scripts up on the net. Always leaning on emotion, bro, to use your intellect. Where you always waffle talking over proves your ill intent. Your prophet had no morals, someone should've called police upon him. Cause the story was so awful, he was also very boring. Try to stay awake through it, but it don't leave me snoring. The result of authorship when logic is completely foreign. It's the cross unit, aka the Lord's movement. For you this unfortunate, y'all love to play Judas. Oh, you got the verses to the bone, my God, do it. Oh, you finna learn today this Christian not stupid. Cross unit, whoop, whoop, cross unit, amen. 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 It's Brother Maverick. Hey, hey, it's Brother Maverick. Hey, let's go. It's Brother Maverick. Hey, hey, it's Brother Maverick. Hey, let's go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, on all platforms. I wholeheartedly apologize. So what's going on, Bought by Blood? Welcome to the stream, brother. You are welcome to sit on panel. If you want to go ahead and cook with me, man, I love your work. I'm honored that you're here. If you got time and you want to just hang out, you are more than welcome to be here, man. Yeah, guys. So you guys know how much I hate when things happen out of sequence like that. I was literally in the middle of a sentence. I was talking to a Muslim here in the panel, and everything shut off on me. The computers all shut off. It was only like my monitor that was still on. So I look, and for some reason, the junction where my stuff is all plugged in, the light was off. So I had to unplug it and replug it in, and that's when everything was off, guys. The modem was off, my NAS was off, everything was off. So the streams obviously got cut. Yo, bro, Chris came in here with a fresh fade. Let's go. Bro, man, Chris came in here with a straight up basic training haircut, bro. There is no way. Yo, when I look, I was like, yo, who's that? Who's that on my panel, man? Ain't no way. I know that ain't Chris. I know that ain't Chris, man. Yeah, welcome, Chris. I like your haircut, man. Yeah, guys, thank you for all of you guys who came back. Yeah, I was literally mid-sentence and literally all my monitors, everything shut off, and I'm just sitting here still talking. Now I'm pissed because I have no idea what's going on. Had to go to my daughter's room. My wife reset the junction box, and finally we just figured out that it was where it was plugged in. Because I replaced the outlets with like these special outlets that have like USBs and stuff in them, but your anxiety is where Jesus don't help. What you talking about, angry? What? What's up, Ball by Blood? What up, Kingdom Society? What's up, guys? Welcome. Yeah, thank you guys all so much for jumping back on, man. I really apologize. You guys know that I hate stuff when stuff like that happens, man. But here we are. Through the glory of God, we are together again. So I will make up the time to you guys, and we will go through it, man. Really, really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get back into these conversations. And thank you, Matt, for requesting back up. Bought by Blood, welcome to, I think this is your first appearance on my panel.
Yeah, I've watched your stuff for a little bit, and I didn't know you even knew who I was. So yeah, I appreciate absolutely. The invite.
Yeah, I watch you on I watch you and John all the time, man. I love your stuff. I love your knowledge, and I love your approach. Yeah, I watch you too. I watch you online. I think I got to speak to you once, right after you made that video calling out Lily J, which no surprise, she never took you up on your offer, but. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I was like, I never thought about that. I didn't realize that she had so many followers. That's crazy.
Oh, well, that's what's funny to me. Like that specific video I made is like the actual knowledgeable Muslims, the people actually who know their religion don't have nearly as many followers as the people who are just like white converts.
Yeah, exactly. And that is so true. And I don't understand Lily J at all, because Lily J doesn't wear a hijab. She doesn't really, you know what I mean? She literally just sits there and says, Chat GPT, tell us about Islam. And then the answers are clearly clearly manipulated. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, hey, whatever, man. If that's how you guys got to bring people to Islam, that's very telling. It's very sad, but it's very telling. Matt, yeah, I'm sorry, brother. I did not hear you, and I'm pretty sure nobody else heard you say that you were gonna go pray. The last thing
I was probably on mute.
okay, yeah, because I didn't hear. I know that I asked you. You had muted yourself. I asked you to, if I'm not mistaken, because this was before my stuff turned off.
Yeah.
I asked you to give me the source material that Al-Qurtubi was using in order to say that I forgot the guy's name, retracted his statement about Caliph Uthman. So then we established that Qurtubi was born 600 years after your prophet passed away. And so now I'm asking you to show me what historical documentation or proof that you have from Qurtubi that what's the guy's name? I completely forgot now, guys. The one who openly had an issue with Uthman's standardization. His name was Abid. What was his name, man? I forgot. It's tip of my tongue.
Ibn Mas'ud?
Yes, Ibn Mas'ud.
Abdullah ibn Mas'ud?
Abdullah ibn Mas'ud had an issue. And you said that he later retracted his statement about having issues with the Uthmanic scribes changing things throughout surahs and adding surahs 1, 113, and 114. Then I asked you, where do you have that? What evidence do you have of that?
Yeah, so interestingly enough, right? So first I want to give you the source for the... Yeah, so the one where I was saying I'm going to give you the source for, it's the one where Ibn Mas'ud agrees that it's basically a part of the revelation, that's Surah Al-Fatiha. And this part is in Tafsir Al-Qurtubi. He narrates from, where is it? Abu Bakr Al-Nabri. So he recites, he does it there. You can see in Tafsir Al-Qurtubi, it's in Internet Archive. It's in page 16. So he quotes from Abu Bakr Al-Nabri, and he says that he relates from Hassan and so on, that why have you not written the Fatiha of the book in your copy of the Quran? He replied, if I had written it, I would have written it with every surah. Abu Bakr said he was referring to the way that every rak'ah begins with al-Quran. So he basically said that the Fatiha is recited so much that it doesn't even need to be included. It's not that he rejected it being part of Revelation. And your own source from the Wikipedia, it is the one which actually says that Muslims agree that this opinion or that Ibn Mas'ud rejected these surahs was weak. Your own source says that. It says in page...
You're saying that it's... Okay, so your position is that information found in Sahih al-Bukhari is weak?
No, not information found in Sahih al-Bukhari.
That's what we're getting. The narration of...
Volume 6, page 472, correct?
The narration of Uthman burning variant copies and competing copies is in Sahih al-Bukhari.
No, that's not what we're debating.
That is what we're debating.
We're debating the omission of Fatiha, not the burning of the Quran.
Relax, okay?
I'm relaxed.
This conversation already. All right. Now, what I asked you, first of all, you didn't even remotely come with what I asked you to come with, right?
I did. I gave you the source material.
Right.
An-Nabri comes in the 10th century, early 10th century.
Early 10th century. So now we're 400 years after your prophet.
Your source is the same dating. Your source, which says that he rejected it, is the same exact dating.
That happened. Okay. So was Ibn Mas'ud a contemporary of Uthman? Yes or no?
No.
He wasn't?
Ibn Mas'ud was. I thought you were talking about Qurtubi.
Okay, Qurtubi definitely wasn't. He was born 600 years later. The source that you're saying he's quoting was 400 years later. So now I'll keep playing your game with you. So now this
it's not 400. It's 300.
But it doesn't matter. So so the source from 300 years later now substantiate where he's getting that information from.
Yep.
Substantiate that.
Because there's a chain.
Okay.
Just as
now, watch this. Substantiate the chain back to your prophet or back to Ibn Mas'ud. Go ahead.
All right, I can show the chain.
Yeah, please do.
So he says Al-Nabri narrates from Hassan ibn al-Hubab from Sulaiman ibn
show it on your screen.
Ash'ath.
Show it on your screen. Respectfully, I don't believe what you're saying. So show it.
All right, 1 second. Let me pull it up.
I'll big screen you. Yep.
All right, big screen you.
Ain't no one able to fake a fake list or a list of names.
All right, so live access needed to go live on video as guest. That's what it says.
Okay, give me your source. I'll bring it up.
All right, I said it a few times, but it's in Tafsir al-Qurtubi, volume 1, It's in page 16, Internet Archive.
You said Tafsir al-Qurtubi, volume 1. You said, okay. And this is
Page
as it
16.
page 16. All right.
Page 16, page 17 in the PDF.
All right, great. Page 16. Let's see what we have here. Tafsir al-Qurtubi, Internet Archive, page 16. Blah, 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 blah. Great. Okay.
Make sure you're on volume 1.
16 is blank here.
It has to be volume 1. Just, yeah.
This is volume 1, brother. Relax.
All right.
So
He
here.
said page 17 on the PDF.
Okay, page 17 on the PDF. Excellent. All right.
Oh.
So here, let me bring it up and read it for myself, or let me read it out loud, rather. So page 17 in the PDF.
16 in the actual
No, it's fine.
document.
I'm on the PDF. So,
All right.
praise belongs to Allah, who began by praising Himself before any praiser praised Him. Is that the one you're on? I'm reading from the top of the page where it says introduction.
No, there is no introduction. I think you're on the wrong thing.
Okay, here. Let me show you what I'm looking at because.
Yeah. So Tafsir al-Qurtubi, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so I said page. Oh, I think you're on a different PDF than me.
Okay. Well, this says Tafsir al-Qurtubi, volume 1. This
Yeah,
is
so
exactly what
go
you told me.
go to page 16 in the actual text and that you're on.
Page,
like the one that's-
so page 16 on this PDF is blank, brother. Look, I'm gonna show you right now. When I go to 16, blank paper, and then page 17 is this. Page 18 right here.
Yeah, no, I'm saying page 16 on the bottom of the page. Like keep scrolling down.
Page 16 on the bottom of the page. All right,
Yeah,
keep
so
scrolling.
the one
All
that's actually in the text.
Tell me when to stop, okay?
Just when you see 16.
All right. So here we go, page 16. Now, where in here are you making your assertion? Where?
Why does it say furthermore? Yeah, this is a different. Yeah, you're on a different one.
Well, as you can see, so here.
Can
I'll
you
show
control
right here.
left?
Do you
Wait,
see-
control left. Just control left. Right, Masood. Just control left. With the apostrophe. With the apostrophe in the middle between S and U.
Okay.
Yep. Keep doing that. One. Keep doing it again. Again. Keep doing it until you see something. Yeah. Again, it has to be on the top of the page.
On top of the page? Okay. That's bottom. Nope, that's the bottom again. 12 out of 15. That's the middle.
Yeah. So I don't know why yours has 834 pages.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go back to the name of the PDF?
Yeah. it's
Maybe
right
I read
here.
it wrong.
No, it's all good. It's right here. Look. You see it right here? Look, I'm going to highlight it.
Tafsir al-Qurtubi, Volume 1. Yeah, so can you just give me live access and just like let me
Brother, I
show my
can't give you
screen?
live access. I don't work for TikTok.
All right, but like a few minutes ago you were like begging me to go like show my camera. So
No. So what TikTok does, TikTok makes you have a certain number of followers.
Oh,
until you
okay,
can
that makes
actually
sense,
turn your
yeah.
camera on.
that makes sense.
Well, here, let's do this, man. I don't because I'm not begging you to do anything. I'm telling you to show your sources. You're claiming that the PDF you just had me on, and it was on Internet Archive, because when I looked, I googled it, and right.
Okay, how about I give you the
here-
ID? How about I give you the ID of the page?
Right.
I'm on my computer right now, and I'm on a different one. I'm on page 16 specifically, and I see where it starts. Answer to was given Abu Bakr al-Anbari.
Yep, that's the one. That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so answer what? Okay, so the next link has this one. So answer to that was given by Abu Bakr an al-Anbari. He related from Al-Hasan ibn al-Hubab from Suleiman. Oh my God, these names, dude. Okay, was asked, why have you not written the Fatiha of the book in your copy of the Quran? He replied, if I had written it, I would have written it with every surah, Abu Bakr said. He was referring to the way that every rak'ah is begun with the al-Quran before the sirah is recited after it. He said, I made things shorter by omitting it. It is safely preserved because all the Muslims memorize it, and so I did not write it anywhere to avoid having it to write it with every surah, since it precedes all of them in the prayer. There is disagreement about whether it is makan or
Yeah, this is
midanan?
this is where the author starts talking. So
Right here, where
yeah,
I'm
so
at right now.
you,
Okay.
you already read it. Yeah,
Oh, I
so
already read it. Okay, so
you already read the part.
Okay, I read the part. So where in there, brother, respectfully, does that make your point clear that he retracted his statement?
Yeah, so it means that Ibn Mas'ud, right? He's not disagreeing that this part is added by Uthman or that it is extra revelation by Uthman. He's simply saying he disagrees with the way the Quran should be organized. He's saying Fatiha is the most memorized surah, so we don't need to include it.
Okay, man.
He's not saying that this is like
here, I'm gonna
extra
go back.
revelation.
Before my computer shut down,
Yeah.
I'm gonna remind you of what you said. You stated that he later retracted his statement that I showed you that was in reference to what is found in Sahih al-Bukhari. That was your statement that he retracted it. Nowhere in here did Bot and Chris, did you hear a retraction of Ibn Masud's statement that Uthman bastardized the Quran and included surahs? Did you hear any retraction in this statement whatsoever from Al-Qurtubi?
Nope.
Yeah, so can I explain?
Hold on. But did you hear any retraction whatsoever in that statement?
No, I didn't hear a retraction.
Thank you. So because
Yeah,
I want
I
to make
didn't.
sure that I'm not being
I
crazy.
didn't hear a retraction either because that wasn't my claim. My claim.
Brother, do you want me to bring the recording up?
No, I agree with the recording. I'm saying you misheard what source I was bringing for this part.
Bro,
I
okay,
can.
here,
The
let me-
source that says he
Man,
retracted is your own source, not mine.
Man, it's not my own source. You came in and made the claim that you said you do know that he later
According to your
retracted it.
source.
Man, hold on. You claimed that he retracted it. My
Yes.
source, show me in my source where where Ibn Masud retracted his statement. Show me.
Great,
where.
I'll show you.
Where?
So in the Wikipedia you brought, where you brought Jam' al-Quran, the codification of the Quran text, it's
I'll
in
bring it
the
up here.
reference
I will
20.
bring it up right now. I'm bringing it
I
up
have
right
it up
now.
actually.
Sure,
In
so do
page
I.
in page 28, it says there was an opinion, a major opinion, that Ibn Mas'ud retracted his statements.
Great. What opinion by whom? When was it written? And how do you substantiate
Pull
the
up
claim?
your own source.
Okay, great. I want you to show me where you said the opinion. You said you have it up. Go ahead and tell me the name.
The names?
Yeah. Who?
Yeah,
who?
okay.
You
Reading-
said there was
reading
an
from your
opinion.
source.
You said there was an opinion.
Beautiful. Yeah,
Beautiful.
reading from
I know it's beautiful. Yeah. I know.
reading from your own source. This is what it says.
Beautiful. Go ahead.
Let me scroll down. Yeah, so it says here, it starts from Imam Fakhruddin, and then it says another Muslim historian, An-Nawawi, in his commentary on the Muhathab, said that the Fatiha and the two charm surahs were unanimously regarded by Muslims as part of the Quran, and that what had been said about Ibn Mas'ud was false and unjustified.
Okay.
The famous dogmatic Muslim scholar Ibn Hazm likewise rejected the suggestion that Ibn Mas'ud had omitted these surahs from his codex.
Now,
Ibn
did
Hazm
these-
said,
did- did
wait,
these
just one second.
Hold on. Did these
I'm still reading,
individuals?
yeah.
Did these individuals know one another?
No.
Okay.
For which
excellent.
individuals?
So great. Give me the name of the person whose commentary you're reading. Go ahead. Who is it?
I'm reading from your source, dude. That's what your
brother,
Jam' al-Quran
brother,
says.
man, I want you to follow the question, okay?
All right, but I'm saying that's what your source
What
says.
is the name? This isn't my source. I read
It is.
directly from Wikipedia, which is linked to your hadith.
Okay,
You're
pull it up
saying
on your
that you click
screen.
on something-
Pull it up on your screen.
brother. Where did you click that is saying that somebody claimed that that Masud retracted the statement?
I went to the Wikipedia like you did.
Okay.
I copied Jam' al-Quran, the codification of the Quran text, page 67. I then pulled it up. As a PDF. And this is what your own source, you use to...
In what portion, in which portion of the Wikipedia link did you click or copy and paste? Where?
20, reference 20.
Reference 20. Excellent.
Which
Let me find
you
reference
use to say Ibn Mas'ud rejected.
Reference 20, because I can't wait to scorch you on this. All right. So you're saying now here, I don't see what you're talking about. Reference 20. Okay, here we go. No, 22, 21.
It's the same exact source you're using to say Ibn Mas'ud
20.
rejected.
Okay, text that.
So-
Yeah, I got you. Relax with the arrogance, bro, because you're gonna walk out of here sad. Now,
Hey,
when I
to be
clicked
fair,
it,
you're
you
the one who's
said-
being arrogant all the
you
time.
You said that you said Jam al-Quran.
Jam' al-Quran.
Uh-huh.
That's the source.
Yes,
bro.
Okay, yes, bro. Okay.
It's a
Now-
non-Muslim source.
So when was here? Well, here, guys. I want to show you what he's referencing. This is how desperate they've become. Look at
This is your source. What do you mean? What I'm referencing? This is your source.
So you went into this. Now watch, guys. I'm gonna show you.
You
exactly
told
what
me
he
to go
did.
to this.
Bro. Be quiet, okay?
You're the
now
one who
what
said
you're
pull
doing-
this up.
This is what you're doing. So he went to reference number 20. Let's go to reference number 20, guys. Excellent.
It's in the bottom. Go to the bottom.
Brother, I know where it's at.
Yeah, it's right there as well.
Relax and hold your water. Okay.
Yeah, it says,
So he went to this publication.
which you told me to go to.
Okay, great. No problem. Because you're saying that when you went to that publication, which was printed in 1989 by Gilchrist, you're saying that that says that it was that he retracted his comment? Is that what you're saying?
Your own source is just gathering major opinions, right? So there's an opinion that Ibn Mas'ud rejected the sources, and your opinion collects that as well.
Okay.
And there's an opinion which says that Ibn Mas'ud never claimed this,
Right.
and your own source says that.
Interesting. Okay, give me a second. Let's see what it really says here, guys. Yeah, that's not what... Bro, what are you getting out of this? I don't know where you're finding this. Here, let me search something else up. Oh,
It should be Benjamin Lisan free. This is the best one to find.
no, I know. I'm looking for something very specific. Gilchrist, J. Gilchrist. So here's what's interesting, Matt, because you said you claimed that you can't share your screen, right?
I can, but you're live. Yeah, I'm not allowed to.
No, either you're allowed to or not, because I can't take the ability away for you to not share your screen.
Well, that's what it says. Every time I try to go on camera or show my camera, it says live access needed to go live. On video, it's Gus.
Okay.
Are you on PC?
No, I'm on my phone.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So the opinion. So from the publication that you wrote, because I can't find what you were talking about. Who is John Gilchrist, who wrote this publication in 1989? He says he is the prominent authority on the Quran. Gilchrist acknowledges that Ibn Mas'ud was one of the foremost authorities on the Quran among the companions of Muhammad, and openly disagreed with Uthman's final standardized version of the Quran. And he was known for his opposition to the Uthmanic Codex. Gilchrist highlights that Ibn Mas'ud strongly opposed the standardization of the Quran ordered by Caliph Uthman. So why did you lie and say that this guy claimed in his publication that Ibn Mas'ud retracted his statement?
Dude, I gave you the source. What do you mean I lied?
I'm reading it directly from...
Yeah, so that's the opinion he holds to. That's Jill Christ's opinion. I'm talking about the source which he specifically wrote and groups the differing opinions. So your own source, right? Which you said, which you told me. One second.
So according to you, you have a differing opinion, right?
No, I'm saying your own source says that there's a major differing opinion.
According to you, because when I click on it,
And
I
even
literally
if there's-
read,
and by the way-
literally read. No, by the way, because you're trying to obfuscate the truth here.
I'm not. I'm
You
being
are,
honest here.
Because I clicked on it. I clicked on it in front of everybody. I didn't find what you were talking about.
You
I
can't
typed in the
find
guy's
Jam'
name.
al-Quran?
I typed
You
in the-
can't find your own
Brother,
source?
Listen to what
By
I'm
Jill
saying.
Christ?
Listen to what I'm telling you. Okay, because you're trying to talk over me and you're doing the typical Muslim thing where I'm asking you to give me the name of the person who is stating, right? Because Gilchrist had to have gotten this from someone. Who is the name of the person who can confirm that Ibn Mas'ud retracted his statement about the bastardized, standardized Quran?
Yeah, I just told you. Nawawi in his commentary on the Muhathab, and he also quotes Ibn Hazm in Muhalla, which says this is a lie attributed to Ibn Mas'ud.
Ibn Hasma, you said?
Ibn Hazm.
Ibn Hazm? Hazm? Okay.
Yep.
Oh my God, bro.
I don't know why you can't find Jam' al-Quran. You're the one who brought it up.
Man, do you know? Ibn Hazm was born in 994 AD, bro. He didn't even know Ibn Mas'ud.
Dude, these people, they quote from earlier sources. What's so, you know the source that
Every single time I ask this guy, give me a contemporary who can give me commentary, who can confirm that Ibn Masud retracted his statement about the Uthmanic Codex. He gives me someone from centuries later and doesn't understand how silly that is, because when I ask him to substantiate the chain of narration, he couldn't do it and claimed it's because he couldn't share his live stream. Brother, I wasn't asking you to give me another name from somebody who didn't know Muhammad or Ibn Masud, and you can say I rage quit if you want. The reason you're gone is because every single time I ask you a question, you give me somebody else from century. You started with Al-Qurtubi, who was born in the 1200s. You managed to work your way backwards 50 years at a time until you got to about 1000 AD. Another person who didn't know him, and another person whose chain of narration back to Ibn Masud that you cannot substantiate. Guys, every single time a Muslim tells you, no, we have proof because, make them substantiate the chain of narration and see how quickly they can.
You gotta give him credit.
I don't have to give him credit, nor will I.
Gotta give him credit for he tried. He kept going back and kept going back and kept giving. He tried, man. He took it increment by increment.
Can't. But you know what, Bob by Blood, you're a guest here, brother. You give me your opinion on that, because you talk to a lot of these guys. I see, bro. A lot of times I'm editing video and I'm watching you and John, and I sit here nodding my head, grateful that it's not just me. Grateful to the Lord that they do it to everybody equally. I can tell you one thing about Muslims: they are equal opportunity stupid providers. They will provide stupid to everybody equally, right? They don't care. Go ahead, Bob. I want you, from your very diplomatic perspective, to please explain what just happened here, because these people just don't get it. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so I came in a little bit late. I finally gathered. Okay, we're talking about the codex, like Uthman burning the Qurans and trying to make his own codex, right? That's basically what we were talking about. But where I caught on is where you started talking about the chain of narration and asking for a primary source that's contemporary to the Prophet Muhammad or his companions. And so each source that was given was nowhere near the time frame. So what you need, if it's going to be a chain of narration, you need someone who actually knew Ibn Masud. Like, that's what you need.
Yeah.
And so,
yes, thank you.
If you don't provide someone who knew Ibn Masud, then I don't know what you mean by a chain of narration, because now you're not talking about a chain of narration. Now you're talking about an oral tradition about a chain of narration. And that's a different claim. To say there is a chain of narration implies that there's going to be like some evidential like manuscript that we can apply, or something that we can look at in which we say, okay, hey, this chain of narration is something that is here. But if you just say someone said this and you're going to attune it to like an oral tradition and not be able to provide a source for the same time period, then isn't that hearsay? And isn't that why you guys reject the Gospels?
Yep.
Evidence is haram.
Evidence is haram, baby. Evidence is haram. We don't play that in Islam. We don't need no evidence, okay? The Bible is corrupted. Show me when it was corrupted. I don't have to. We believe it was corrupted. I just look at the Quran and whatever it agrees with the Bible, that's what.
No,
what are we doing?
Allahu alam.
Yeah,
Allahu alam.
Bob by Blood is 100% spot on and wasn't even here from the beginning of the conversation. Now, guys, does history work that we always go all the way back to the contemporaries? Absolutely not. But if you're going to make an authoritative statement about something you know, then you need a little bit more than commentators who came centuries later who just claimed that this was done, that this was said, right? I guarantee I didn't even get to ask him, okay, well, where's the commentary? Where is, do you guys have a manuscript? Do you have some sort of documentation that Ibn Masud later said, yes, this is fine? No, you don't have that. You don't have that. You clicked reference number 20 on my source. You went to a Christian author who is literally one of he doesn't even understand that the guy that he quoted, the guy that he was talking about, that author, Gilchrist, is a Christian. He literally has spent his life proving that the Quran is not the word of God and that it has never been preserved. This is who he went to. He didn't even know, but I know you know who Gilchrist is.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Gilchrist for sure. I was Yeah, I was kind of confused where that was going on, why the Muslim was quoting Gilchrist.
Hey, this isn't a boys club. This isn't a boys club. I don't know who that is. Tell me.
What are you talking about? Gilchrist?
Who's this person you guys are talking about? Yes.
Jay Gilchrist. He's an author. He's a Christian. He's an apologist. I mean, he's an amazing apologist.
Oh, okay.
He's actually done a lot of great work and research and publications on literally the Quran and the lie of perfect preservation. So
yeah, he's written a number of books.
a lot, yeah, and that.
Oh,
one,
good to know. Okay,
that-
sorry.
that-
Proceed.
That book particularly came out in 1989, guys, and that book is scathing with evidence as far as like showing, literally with proof, guys, with proof that the Quran is not perfectly preserved. I don't know why he went to that. I kind of gasped, which is why I laughed, because I was like, okay, if you want to use Gilchrist and you think that's going to help your case, no problem, but that's on you, bro. You do, listen, you do you. If you feel that that's the right thing to do, you will do that. But then he says, I rage quit. Bro, I'm not rage quitting. I just keep asking you for things and you just keep not getting to it, right? It's Hakeem.
What's up, clown? How long is it gonna be before you drop me? You as a clown, man, you don't want to have a academic discussion. You want to be
How long is it gonna be before you speak English and then tell somebody that they don't speak academically correct? How long is it gonna be before you speak correctly, sir?
All right, you sweet prostitute.
All right, that's what your mama called me too, huh? She's probably used.
Right. You retarded. That you
Your
insult
whole
yourself.
pimp house,
you
huh?
stupid fool. You're dumb.
Says the one who walked into the stage saying, "All right, you clown."
Stop tickling yourself, you funny-looking monkey.
Listen, Hakeem, as much as I love a good, insult or ad hominem, do you have an argument?
I'm sorry, John.
Goodbye, sir. We got other guests.
Oh, he's gone. I wasn't looking at my phone, so I didn't know.
You're good, brother. You're good. John, you want to talk to this guy? I'd be honored.
Yeah, if you want me to.
Sure, absolutely. You are more than welcome, brother. People that I trust. Listen, when I've watched somebody's ministry for a long time.
Hold on, before you start.
Hold on, word.
Before you start.
Hold on, word. Hold on. When I've watched somebody's ministry for a long time and I know I can trust you and I've seen the way you handle people, I have no worries about how this is going to go. So, Mark, what's this dude's name? Machiavelli. We'll call him Machiavelli. Machiavelli, I'm going to let you talk to my brother in Christ here, John Bought by Blood. Word, what did you want to say before they start? Because after they start, I only want them talking. What you got?
Yeah, my accent was spot on. And two, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. I said I was like, you can't even say my accent wasn't spot on. I caught him how are you gonna come up here trash talking us with an accent and then think I'm not gonna make fun of your accent? It's just not gonna happen, okay? And second of all, I'm gonna drop Brother Maverick because I think I have a delay. You're coming in a few seconds late. I'm hearing everyone a little late, so I'm gonna drop and then just pull me back up, okay?
All right, sounds good. All right, Machiavelli and John, go ahead. The prompt, Machiavelli, is Christianity is logical, Islam is not. You guys start wherever you want.
I disagree.
Okay, why do you disagree?
Because you say things about God that make him human.
Okay, what's illogical about that?
God having a mother, God having a father, God having siblings.
Okay, so let's just start with God having a mother in virtue of subsisting in a human nature. When you say something is illogical, do you know what that means?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
It means it can't be true and false at the same time.
Can't be true. So that's it. Can't be true and false at the same time in the same sense. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for you to have that, you have to have a proposition and its negation. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
What's the proposition and its negation for God subsisting in human nature and having a human mother?
Women don't give birth to natures.
Yeah, they give birth to persons. That's fine. That's by the way, you just made a statement. You didn't give a proposition and its negation.
Oh, okay. Proposition is God is eternal. Jesus has a mother, therefore Jesus is not eternal.
Okay, do you think that the Christian position is that when Jesus was born, that was him coming into existence as a contingent being?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you just don't understand Christian theology because that's not the Christian position.
That's why it's illogical.
That's not the Christian position.
That's why it's illogical.
Wait. You're arguing with literally the definition of a straw man right now. A
So
straw
Jesus
man
doesn't have a mother? So
Wait, a
Jesus
straw
is
man-
God, but he has a mother?
Wait, listen.
So
The
I don't
question
get
I
it.
asked you specifically was, do you think the Christian position entails that Jesus is a contingent being, a contingent person that came into existence
That doesn't matter. He's
via a
always
human
contingent.
mother?
He's always contingent. Whether your worldview disagrees, that doesn't matter because he's always contingent.
Wait, you're trying to show a logical contradiction, right?
Yeah, God is eternal. Jesus isn't.
Okay, what's the argument for that?
How can he be both at the same time?
What's the argument? Questions aren't arguments.
How can he be eternal and have a mother?
Wait, questions are not arguments. Asking me a question does not substantiate your
Okay,
argument.
Jesus is God, correct?
Yeah, Jesus is God.
Okay, and he's eternal, correct?
Yeah,
Yet he has a mother, correct?
yeah,
How is he eternal? How is he God?
yeah, because eternality is in virtue of his divine nature, not his human nature.
So you're an historian?
That's not Nestorianism.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. No
Yes, it is.
Christian. Show me a single Christian in the early first, second, or third century.
You're
that
literally being an
says-
historian.
Wait,
You're
listen,
literally
listen.
being an historian.
Listen, show me a single Christian in the first, second, or third century, or you can go as far as you want, that is actually an authoritative source that says Jesus as the Son and the person of God came into existence via Mary and did not exist prior.
I'm not making that argument in Christianity, no.
Oh, so you agree that Christianity says that Jesus did exist prior to the incarnation?
I mean, I guess Adam did too.
Wait, did Jesus in Christian theology exist prior to the incarnation?
That doesn't make him eternal.
What do you mean?
It doesn't make him eternal.
Wait a second. But your argument is he's not eternal because he was born of a woman. But
And if
it
he
is the case
existed
that
in
he
a
exists,
time
wait a second,
before
wait,
creation,
listen.
that still
Wait,
doesn't make him
listen.
eternal.
Listen, if it's the case, but your argument is the reason he's not eternal is because he's born of a woman. Do you want to change your
And he
argument?
was created by God.
Wait, would you like to change your argument?
My argument still stands.
Okay, so then you're saying him being born of a woman means he's not eternal. That is your current argument, correct?
That is correct. And also him
Okay,
being
great.
created.
Great. Wait a second. Perfect.
Okay, cool.
If that is your current argument,
Mhm.
do you agree that in Christian theology, Jesus pre-existed prior to incarnation?
Yeah, it doesn't make him eternal.
Okay, wait a second though. If he pre-existed, then what is the correlation between the virgin birth and his ontological existence?
He was created.
What? No, listen. What is the correlation?
He was created. That's the correlation.
What was created? The person?
The soul of Jesus.
Was the person created in Christian theology via the incarnation, or did the person pre-exist? I will ask you again, since you had to pause. Did
because
the person
because it's not making
of
any
the
sense.
Son, did the person of the Son
Mhm.
come into existence via the incarnation, or
No.
did he pre-exist before the incarnation?
No. The person, I think the person was, it existed when he was given birth to.
Okay, please answer the question. The question I'm asking you, in Christian theology,
When he was
you're
given
trying
birth
to do an internal critique, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you're doing an internal critique, you have to operate under the position of the person you're arguing against to try and show an inconsistency, right?
It still doesn't make him eternal. Whether he
Did
existed
the
before.
person, wait, we'll get to the eternality. Did the person of the Son exist prior to the incarnation in Christian theology?
No.
Okay, give me a source that says he did not pre-exist prior to the incarnation.
I don't see it in Jewish scriptures.
Are you arguing with a Jew or a Christian?
I'm still using the Old Testament. He's not.
Are you arguing with a Jew or a Christian?
Don't you believe in the Old
Are
Testament?
you doing an internal critique on a Jew or a Christian?
Isn't the Old Testament also your book?
Wait. You said you're doing an internal critique.
Hold on.
Are you doing
Isn't
one
the
on
Old
a
Testament
Jew
your
or
book
a
too?
Christian?
Hold on. You
Wait,
believe in the Old
we're
Testament.
not even
It's
talking
your
about.
book as
Listen,
well.
why are you
your book
going
as well,
to the
right?
Old Testament? Why are you going
Because
to the
it's
Old
still your book.
Testament when we're
Because
talking about
it's still your book.
metaphysics? Wait,
Because
right now
it's still your book.
But
It's
listen,
still your book.
you're trying to bring up metaphysics, right? We haven't quoted anything scripture. You said that there's a logical problem, which means when you're bringing in like theological sources or you're bringing in textual sources,
Isn't anything
then you're no
metaphysical also
longer,
in
wait,
scripture?
hear me.
Hold on.
You're no
Isn't anything
longer
metaphysical also in scripture?
you're no longer presenting a logical problem because you're leaving the realm of metaphysics. Do you understand that?
By using scripture?
By using scripture, you're no longer presenting a logical problem. A logical problem is not contingent on scripture. It is contingent on someone's doxastic attitudes toward a proposition.
I don't see Jesus in the Old Testament.
Wait, no, don't change your argument. Don't run.
I still don't see Jesus in the Old Testament.
Don't run. What do you mean we don't see Jesus in the Old Testament?
I don't see him there.
Listen, I will move to that in just a second, okay? I will go to that with you. I will go there with you.
But don't you believe in the Old Testament though?
Wait, I will go there with you in just a second.
It's still metaphysical.
Wait, don't listen.
It's still metaphysical.
You're all you're doing is you're throwing out a red herring, okay? I don't chase red herrings. I stick to the argument and I pin you to the wall until you realize the argument is dumb. So understand,
Jesus
you
not
said
being
there's
God
a
is
logical
dumb?
problem. You said there's a logical problem in Jesus coming into existence. You said he came
Jesus
into
being God.
existence. Wait,
Jesus
you
being
said the
God.
person.
That's the logical problem.
You said the person came into existence via his mother. And I said, show me, if you're doing an internal critique of a Christian position, then show me a Christian source that says that Jesus as a person, the Son as a person, came into existence via the incarnation. You said, well, if we go to Jewish sources, if you're doing an internal critique and you go to Jewish sources, you've left the internal critique and now you're doing an external critique.
Which
you want to go down with.
Which church father said that Jesus was the rational agent of the Father?
What does that have to do with anything? Are you going to provide me a source that says that Jesus as the Son, the person of the Son came into existence via the incarnation?
Yeah. Which church father said that he was a rational agent?
Go find your source. I'm not doing your homework for you.
Damn, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Okay, so when something is a rational agent...
Wait, Machiavelli, are you of the position that you just made a good point? The way that you gish gallop to patristic sources, are you under that position? Are you making the assumption that because he asked you a question and then you asked him about which church father made a claim about Jesus being an agent? Do you think that was intelligent what you just did?
He's asking me what church father, and I'm asking him which church father said that, because I don't know the name.
Exactly. You made a claim. You said that according to Christian theology, the person of the Son comes into existence via the incarnation.
Yes, because Jesus was a rational agent.
Substantiate that claim with a source, please.
Yeah. He was the Logos, which is the rational agent, correct? Or the rationality of God.
Is that a Christian source?
A church father said that. I just don't know the name like that.
Okay, then get prepared and come back.
So can you tell me which church father said that?
It's not my claim. It's not my claim. I'm not going to help
you. I'm
debating you. Why would I help you?
I'm not asking you to prove it. I'm just asking. I'm asking you as an academic question. Like, do you know which church father said that?
there's multiple church fathers that talks about like the metaphysics of the incarnation. There's
Okay,
not
so,
just
like,
a
Jesus
singular one. I
being-
don't know exactly which claim you're making right now, which is why I'm telling you to go do your homework and come back and deal with me on different terms. Now, you wanted to do this, so I'm just going to say, listen, you agree with me. You cannot provide a source to provide the allegation that the incarnation and his existence,
So
the
are you
person of the
ignorant?
Son. Wait a
Okay,
second.
so
Listen.
okay, so are
One
you
second.
ignorant of what I'm telling you?
I'm finishing this. So you agree you could not provide a source in Christian theology upon your
I just
internal
did.
critique that says the
I
person
just
of
did,
the
but I
Son.
forgot the name of the church father.
No, the church father does not say that the Son comes into existence via the incarnation.
They say he was the Logos, correct?
What does them being the Logos have to do with anything?
Okay, doesn't Logos mean the rationality of God? God's rational agent?
No.
What is it then?
Go look it up.
Machiavelli, do you know what tell it here? What does the word logos mean, bro? Oh,
It means the rationale of God, the word of God,
the word.
the
There you
statements.
go.
Word, correct.
Yes. So why are you talking about it meaning a rational agent? What are you? Where are you
Because
getting that from?
because that's what it was.
According to whom?
Look, I can't remember the church father's name, but that's what I recall he said.
Yeah, so Jesus is referred to as the Logos, yeah?
As the rational agent.
And the Logos is the word, yeah?
He was inside, he was in God before he was incarnated.
Wait. He was in God before he was incarnate?
Yes.
So, under that position, are you saying that the Son, right, is united with the Father?
In what sense?
I'm asking you.
I never made that claim.
What do you mean by in God then?
That's what they said. So I'm not sure what they mean by that.
Okay, then go study. There's plenty, like there's thousands of years of research on this
Yeah.
topic.
All right.
I'm not.
All right. He's still
Yeah.
not God.
Okay, here. I'm gonna do this for you. So you obviously couldn't provide anything on that topic.
I just did.
So here's
I
what-
just
here's,
did. It's not my fault. You don't know
No,
the
you
church fathers
did.
like that.
Hold on. Listen. You did, but you failed to support it. It's not that you didn't make a claim. You just failed to support your claim. So therefore, we need to move on to a different discussion, and you just need to concede for now.
Concede what?
Concede that you made a claim and that you don't have evidence for your claim right now.
You know what? Give me a minute. Let me look up the guy's name.
Okay.
Bro, you could have done that 15 minutes ago. Bro's up here getting cooked and said, I forgot. I can't give it to you. Well,
All it took was a little soft spoken moderator to give him a nudge.
Thank you for, and I apologize. Thank you guys all so much for coming back on, man. Yeah, we were live, and something happened with where the majority of my machines are plugged in. So literally everything just powered off at the same time. I don't know why. I looked at it, I unplugged it, plugged it back in. Everything was fine. I'm praying to God that it's not a faulty unit. I'm gonna go tomorrow anyway, just in case, because I don't want that to happen again. So thank you guys, because usually when streams conclude like that and then you start again, you know what I'm saying? People don't just come flocking back, but you guys did. So thank you so much. Evo, we're waiting for Machiavelli to find his source. I'll be curious. So Evo, you just requested up. So what I will do is I will talk to Muslim, and then after that, Evo, if you want to hang out, you spoke to me earlier. Because I love his style, I'm curious to see what a conversation is going to look like between you and John, if he is, if he's okay with that, and we'll go from there. Because I love when other great content creators, when other great apologists come to my panel, because I just love watching. I watch them cook all the time, so when they do it on my panel, I'm very honored. And thank you, John. I appreciate it.
You're too kind. You're too kind. I appreciate it.
Yeah, guys, if you've never watched follow Bought by Blood on TikTok.
It says right here, it's Origin.
Oh dang. Bro came in talking.
Okay. All right. So what does Origin say?
Let me.
Just give me the source, and so you don't have to leave the app constantly.
Right. other than that, how's everybody doing while Machiavelli's off the app again? While he's consulting ChatGPT.
I was actually kind of excited that you started a little later because usually I'm only
I didn't start later.
privileged.
I started normally. You just came up when I started the second time.
Oh, you started normally. Gotcha. Well, I'm happy that I can kind of like be in right now. So, do you still have to go to work at the same time?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't work tonight.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Hello, BB. Hello, Sarah. Only for Jesus. All Muslims here. What's the Injil? Pfft, you ain't gonna get that answer. Moses spoke to Yahweh. I can give you one thing about Muslim apologetics or polemics, however you're looking at it. You will consistently get the same Gish Gallopy answers, right? Well, the Quran is the criterion. No, it's not. Where are you getting that from?
That's what the Quran says.
This is about to go really bad.
Yeah,
If he,
it is.
well, here's the thing. His argument, while he's looking for this, his argument, remember, is that Jesus is not eternal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And he's
Well,
using
he's
origin.
now using origin.
I can't.
Oh,
wait.
I have the quote from Bart Ehrman's research.
No. What happened to
I sent
origin?
it.
Where'd origin go?
He's using origin his view.
What?
He's writing about origin.
Dude, even my 3-year-old knows that you're lying over here. Hold on. You said
I just sent the
Origin
link.
said
It's in the chat.
You sent the link. It's in the chat. Here, let me bring it up. I'm gonna copy and paste it, y'all. Oh, I can't copy. God bless America, man. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Okay, here we go. All right, let me bring this up real quick. I will bring this up, and what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'll put it on screen for John and Machiavelli.
Thank
let's
you.
see. Yep, of course. Let's see. We're gonna go up here, and I'm just gonna paste exactly what you sent. Is that okay with you, Machiavelli?
Huh?
Hey Mav, some people on TikTok are saying your mic's a little too low, Mav.
Oh man. Okay, give me a second. I'll mess with my mic in a second, guys. Here, it's very small, so what I'm gonna do is I'll make it bigger for everyone to see.
Here, what's the title of it? I'll pull it up on my computer as well.
Yeah, it's the Bart Ehrman blog, engaging. How? Oh, right here. I don't know if you can see it, John.
Christ
How could Christ
be-
be both God and a human at once? The unusual view of origin, written in 2021. So as you read, John, I'll just just let me know where you are now. For the audience, I will go ahead and highlight whatever you're on.
Yeah, I'm there. Okay, what part do you want me to read?
He's off the app again. Oh, let me, because everybody's complaining. Here, let me turn up the mic a little bit. All right, guys, I turned on my mic a little bit.
so weird, 'cause I hear you just
Yeah, I
fine.
know, that's the thing. People are complaining, but it's a TikTok live studio thing. It's not me. I can only turn up my mic so high because then it's going to start sounding distorted. And I'm
I hear you just fine, but they're all saying.
Okay, now, yeah, so, yeah, Logan is saying he can hear me just fine, so I'm not going to raise it up anymore because I don't want to
I
start
heard you just
sounding-
fine.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going back to where I was. 250. I'm gonna go down to 250. All right, Machiavelli, when you're ready to come back, bro, because I know the thing about it is, bro, if it's on your mind that if you had the paid version of ChatGPT, it'd be better, it wouldn't. It's still not gonna help you. So I don't know.
I don't use ChatGPT. I'm on Safari. I'm reading this.
You're reading it, well, brother. I don't know how much time you think we got.
Wait a second. Are you telling me you went to find a source and you didn't even read the source yet?
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading it right now.
Bro,
So you're bringing a source to me
that you don't even know what
that
it
you
says.
don't even know what it says?
And now, John, that just makes
Just
me
because it came from Bart Ehrman?
right. And that,
No, from Origin.
Man.
And that just makes me think even more because these AIs are known to give this fallacious information. So he probably searched up.
I didn't even use AI. Stop assuming.
Oh, wait. This is great.
You didn't use AI, then how did you fallaciously get to Origin about your original stance?
You know what's also great about this? So I just read his blog post, and do you know the last sentence it ends with?
What?
Go down.
Now, is it in red? The one in red?
In Origen's view, right above it.
Oh, okay.
Origen's solution is one of the ideas that ended up making him susceptible to the charge of heresy centuries after his death. He came to believe in the pre-existence of souls. In this view, not only did Christ pre-exist his appearance on earth as human, so did everyone else, right?
Uh-huh.
So I thought you were trying to bring Origen that says that the son of the person of the Son came into existence via the incarnation.
Right.
This source directly contradicts you. Because if you go up in the very source you just offered me, it says this. Origen came from Alexandria and was exceptionally learned and unbelievably prolific. According to the church, Father Jerome Origen published 2,000 books, including commentaries on the Bible. We'll skip down to this. Origen provided an overview of his thinking on the book on first principles. Okay? Among other things, Origen tries to figure out how Christ could be equal with God, fully God himself, yet distinct from God. But if you read just above, at like the very start, he takes up the orthodox position. And the orthodox position, and it even in somewhere in first principles, it says something along the lines, and I can find the source, but it says something along the lines of the Father did not become the Father, and therefore the Son did not become the Son, which would entail that the Son and the Father always exist.
As father and son?
Yes.
Yep. And you know how we know that? Because if we were
So two
actually
gods?
if we were to actually look at that and two gods, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. So far,
That's not dumb. That's not dumb.
That's
You have the
crazy.
father and the son.
That's crazy.
That is dumb, brother. Because here
And they existed together.
right.
But-
so do you?
So
Okay,
how are they
they
one?
existed together eternally, right?
So how are they one?
So the Christian position says they existed together eternally, right?
So how are they one?
Right?
Yeah, how are they one?
Okay, you just conceded.
Yep.
Okay,
Your
so how are
first
they one?
point-
Yeah.
Okay, now you're changing the argument. You just conceded your first argument that you said the Son was not eternal, but now you agree Christian theology does teach that the Son is eternal alongside the Father. That's a concession.
That doesn't make him eternal.
That's a concession of the
That's what
internal
your
critique.
religion says.
Listen,
That's what your religion says.
and
It
you were
doesn't make
doing
him
an
eternal.
wait. That's what my religion says, right?
Okay, it doesn't make him
Right?
eternal.
Wait, right? That's what my religion says.
Okay, cool.
And you were doing a what type of critique?
Internal?
So if my religion says that he's eternal and you're doing an internal critique, then guess what? Do you know what
Your
that
book
means?
still doesn't say that. That's fine.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah. That's fine. Your book still doesn't say that.
Yeah. So you concede. Your original point failed.
It still didn't fail.
Oh,
It still didn't
God.
fail. One, your book doesn't say that.
The dishonest.
Yeah.
Your book doesn't even say it.
Okay.
It doesn't even say it.
All right. Have a good one, Machiavelli.
Yeah, the
Have a good
dishonest
one,
is a
brother.
wrap.
That's here's the thing, guys. I didn't think that conversation was going to have any other outcome than the one that it did. John, kudos on the amount of patience that you had. It was similar to the conversation I had earlier, where I continued to ask for something that I never got. You know what I mean? And it's insane to me that the fact that you continued to walk with him, despite the fact that all he did was burden shift and gish gallop, to me is crazy, man. But this is, guys, I would argue, I'm telling you, that Dawa, that the Muslim paradigm in 2026 is worse than 2025, man. It's worse. It's not better. It's like it's only getting worse because their top apology. Here's the thing, guys. You guys, you may not think so, but I can guarantee you and understand you that you Muslims, your quote unquote top apologists, you guys can blow smoke up their rear end all you want about them winning these debates, because with you guys, all they have to do is open their mouth. Oh my God, the Christian got baked. Shut up. No, he didn't. And here's the thing. The guys that are having these debates for Islam, they know they're getting cooked. Why do you think Sheikh Uthman is running? I don't know how that guy has the belly that he has with all the running that he does. Okay. Why do you think that people like Libiano are doing less and less debates? People like Dean Responds are doing less and less debates because they know they're getting body slammed on a regular basis. You guys can sit there and obfuscate that truth in your mind all you want. But at the end of the day, guys, we just read. We read our books. We read your books. But here's the difference. We read the Quran with a reverence that you don't. We actually respect what it's saying. We don't add things to it. We don't commit the shirk that you guys do on a regular basis, which is necessary for you guys, because otherwise your religion falls apart. I mean, it falls apart anyway, right? Brother John, is your video, bro. I'm actually going to send you this clip when you're done, and you do whatever you want with it, man. You got any outro statements?
No, it's good.
And of
It's just
course,
it's a normal day at the office.
yeah, man, it is what it is, man. Jesus is king. You can't make this stuff up, guys. You cannot make this stuff up. This is not a one-off. Like John said, this is every single day. Oh man, who do we have up here? We have Muslim here. And I do apologize, guys. I had the wrong prompt. It's similar anyway, but I had the wrong prompt on TikTok because I forgot to change it out in OBS. So Tuesday's prompt is Christianity is more trustworthy than Islam, which, believe me, guys, that conversation would have taken exactly the same direction either way it goes. So don't think that you didn't get your money's worth out of that one. Muslim, welcome, brother. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for waiting patiently and hanging around. What's up, man?
No problem, man. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. So you told me before, we had talked before, that you find the hadith unreliable. You wouldn't really take them. So then you would, in return of that, have to reject your whole Bible.
Is that right? How was that?
So what is the early, and you're judging it based off of manuscripts?
No, I'm actually judging
Is
it
that where
based
you're going
on. I'm judging it based off of your standards. You know what I mean by that?
You're judging it based off of my standards. No, what do you mean?
When I say yours, I don't mean you subjectively, right? You particularly, specifically, but in general, right? Muslims love to ask silly questions when we talk about the trustworthiness of our gospels. For example, when was your first Bible? When did you get your first Bible? Right? Erroneously, not even understanding that the earliest Christians didn't rely on compiled codices for the Word of God because there were already thousands and thousands of manuscripts, right? The compilation, which became known as codices, as codex, such as Codex Sinaiticus, yes, did come towards the 3rd and 4th century, but the manuscripts already existed long before that. But in the Muslim paradigm, you guys laugh, not even understanding the difference between codices and manuscripts, and say, oh, well, that didn't get written until God knows how much time after the crucifixion, blah, 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 blah. But you have no problem going to things that came out centuries later, right? Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim themselves didn't get canonized and put pen to paper until minimum 2 centuries. And those are your earliest ones. You have over 600,000 hadiths, many of which didn't come out until anywhere from 500 to 1,000 years after your prophet passed away, right? You'll go to tafsir from people like, what's that guy's name? Ibn Kathir, who lived in the 1400s. You go to Al-Qurtubi, who was born in the 1200s. I mean, I can go on and on. So when I say I'm exposing your hypocriticalness. I'm exposing your double standard.
Okay, so I got a few things to say about what you said. First of all, you mentioned Ibn Kathir and you mentioned Ibn Taymiyyah.
No,
these are guys way later. Neither of these guys came out with any kind of hadith.
Muslim. That's not what I said. When did I say the name Ibn Taymiyyah? When did I say that?
You said Ibn Kathir and who else?
You just blatantly showed that you weren't even listening to me. I said Ibn Kathir and Al-Qurtubi. I didn't say anything about Ibn Taymiyyah.
Okay.
I didn't say anything about Taymiyyah.
Taymiyyah. Okay, so these guys didn't come out with any hadith. Also, a lot of the most sahih hadith you'll find in Bukhari and Muslim.
So you don't
hadith coming later. There are a lot of da'if hadith, which we grade as da'if.
Okay, but you don't follow
I want to
tafsir?
get back to the topic.
Muslim, you don't follow tafsir?
No, I follow tafsir.
Okay,
this is somebody they know the Arabic, they studied it.
Congratulations. So that, and those tafsir from Al-Qurtubi and Ibn Kathir came out 600 and 700 years after your prophet passed away, right? So again,
that's fine. We already have
you're
the
looking
text
at
of
so you're
Quran,
using
they based
right. Okay,
tafsir
so
off
you're
of
using
earlier
sources.
scholars.
Okay, so you're
That's
using
fine.
sources. You're using sources. No, it's not fine because you're a hypocrite. Because you guys try to talk about the Bible and its manuscripts, and then you lie about the time frames, which even with your lies that you tell about it, I find hilarious because they're nowhere near as far removed from the events as the Hadith or Tafsir or Sunnah are. But you have no problem looking at them, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, so your claim originally is that, and first of all, the text of the Quran never changed. Tafsir literally means explanation.
Yes, it did.
But
Yes, it did. Many
your
times.
claim was that
Hold on, Muslim, stop.
your claim.
Muslim, stop. Yes, it did. What? Here, the problem with you, brother, is that you haven't figured out yet that once you make a false claim, I stop you dead in your tracks. The Quran has been changed many times. Many times.
Quran has never been changed.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. LOL. Here. Hold on, Muslim. No, we're gonna go there, but you're not understanding that you're not in control of this conversation. Okay. So now I'm going to interrogate you in a way that's gonna make you, unfortunately, concede whether you want to or not. When the Quran was canonized, when it was recorded in manuscript, what language was it recorded in?
Arabic.
Arabic. The Arabic you read now?
Yeah, I read Arabic.
No. Is it the Arabic that you read now?
Is it the Arabic? Oh, it doesn't have the harakat.
Correct. But you claim dot for dot, letter for letter preservation, right?
Yeah, those are not letters. Harakat are not letters.
Listen, brother.
Oh, sorry.
Brother, listen. Hold on.
And by the way,
Muslim, stop. You're muted again. Because I'm going to have a civil conversation and you're not going to obfuscate. This is how I control you guys, okay? I lead you by the nose because you guys always want to go somewhere else and try to get into something else, okay? Muslims claim... Hold on. Stop.
It's fine.
Stop. Okay. Do Muslims claim dot for dot, letter for letter preservation, yes or no?
I wouldn't, if Muslims do, they may be uneducated if they don't know about the ahraf, because it's been preserved, dot for dot, letter for letter, but that's not saying there's one script, because there's different ahraf, there's different qira'at.
You just blew yourself out of the water. You just blew yourself out of the water, bro. Yeah.
I guess preservation, yes.
No,
But if
Muslim.
you're going to say...
The claim from the Islamic paradigm. Now watch this. Watch this. To my panelists, Chris, John, and Word, who grew up Muslim, is the claim of Islam not dot for dot every single jot preservation? Dot for dot, letter for letter, yes or no?
Yeah, it's dot for dot, letter for letter, down in the Dhamma. Yep.
Brother John, isn't that what you've heard a million times at this point?
Yeah, from the uneducated
Probably
Muslims
close, yeah.
who don't know about qira'at.
From the uneducated Muslims, so you're calling Sneeko and Libiano and Sheikh Uthman and Dean Responds and Ali Dawa, you're saying all those guys are uneducated?
See, it depends what you mean by, if you say preserved, yes, we'll say preserved. Yes, preserved.
Brother, I'm
But is it
using the
all, like,
Islamic
is it
paradigm's
all-
definition of preservation, which is that it's never been changed, not one single character. It's always been the same since the time of the Prophet. The same book. Doesn't matter what you classify as change, it has never been changed. That is what your paradigm claims. Now you're trying to satisfy both sides. There's no satisfaction on both sides, brother. There's no gray area. It's one or the other. Has it been changed? Anything in it, has it ever been changed? Yes or no?
No, if you're saying, yeah. I mean, if you see the way that it's pronounced and the harakat showing us the way that certain words are pronounced, that's not changing anything. And then if you're talking about qira'ah, the Quran was revealed in 7 different dialects. So it would be the same from the Prophet.
So how can something be the same from the beginning in different dialects?
Because it was revealed in different dialects.
To whom?
To the Prophet Muhammad.
You know the only reason why your prophet said that? You want to know why he said that?
Why did he say that?
Because someone came up to him and stated that people were reciting. Now, you want to laugh here? Laugh at this.
I
A
know the
person in
hadith
his
you're talking
time.
about.
No, you don't know anything. Because the reason he lied about the 7 aruf is because someone came up to him and said, oh prophet, they're reciting the Quran differently. And he said, be worried not, for the Quran was revealed 7 different ways. 7 different recitations. Would the meaning be the same?
The meaning never contradicts.
Would
It
the
enriches the
meaning,
meaning, but
okay,
it's not the
so
exact
then
same
if
words.
the meaning would be the same, if the meaning was the same, then why would the contemporaries of Muhammad run up to him concerned that people were reciting it differently? Because
It's a
if you say
beautiful
something
question.
to me, if you say something to me in a different accent or in a different way, but you're saying the same thing, I'm not going to go running to this supposed prophet to
Yeah.
report it
That's
because I know what you're saying. But that's not what happened. And you still haven't even begun to address how you're explaining that
For
the Quran
the
was never.
preservation of the Quran.
I'm sorry,
Even
brother,
if
you
you
cut
heard a
off.
letter
You-
different,
Muslim, you cut
this
off.
is the reaction that he would
Muslim,
have. These
Muslim,
are the
you-
type of people that we have,
Muslim.
you know, supporting our.
Chris, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Muslim,
I couldn't hear you for a while.
Yeah, because
if you were
you
just
kind of
talking.
that's why I was trying to stop you because you disappeared off my screen, then you came back and you were like in the middle of a sentence. So
Oh, okay.
so now going back to it because we haven't even addressed the Quran being unchanged yet. Because there are two right off the top of my head glaring instances of when we know the Quran's been changed. But go ahead and say what you were saying and then we'll go back to that. Go ahead.
Okay, so if you had stated to me before the hadith are unreliable, so if you're basing this off manuscript now,
What does a hadith have to do with what we're talking about? We're talking about the preservation of the
because
Quran.
that's the whole reason that I called. I tried to get to that, and you just got to this.
Well, brother,
the
you
moment
see-
that we started talking.
Well, see, Muslim. Here's the thing, though. And respectfully, brother,
just make my
I know
point.
you.
Yeah.
I know you see the prompt, and I don't know what happened with you last week because, and respectfully, man, I don't remember even speaking to you. I know that this may have been life defining for you, but for me, it was like Thursday. Okay, I have no idea who you are. I don't even remember the conversation. Okay. The topic for today is Christianity is more trustworthy than Islam, and we are now talking Quran preservation. So I need you to stay there. I need you to respect my audience and stay where we are. Okay. So, Quran preservation. Why should we believe that it's never been changed?
Why should we believe that it's never been changed? I mean, we have manuscripts that show the exact same text that we read today.
Really?
No, you don't.
Without
Explain,
barakat. Yeah.
explain the Sana'a manuscript from Yemen in the 1970s that was discovered and proven that everything you just said is 100% nonsense.
Yeah, that manuscript, there was a writing that was underneath, and because this was a person who was heretic, you know, they're just writing on their own, maybe having their own notes. 1 second, sir. They're writing things incorrectly. Then when the Quran gets standardized, I say the Sana manuscript is one of the best evidences of the preservation of the Quran. Then they actually correct it and they write the right thing over. So they were
they could
misplacing,
change-
they were writing things wrong. So yeah.
So you feel that you know why you don't even understand how stupid what you just said is, because
Please
that
don't.
manuscript dated back so far that if the Quran's never been changed, why would the discovery of said manuscript require somebody to change it? Go ahead and explain that.
What do you mean? Somebody wrote
Here, let me
down
say,
in
here,
their
let me say
own
it for you.
personal Quran,
Let me say it for you
a scribe or
slower.
something
Let
else?
me say it for you slower. If that is a Quranic manuscript and it has
Okay.
never been changed, and no one had the ability to write something different because they would know nothing different, then how did they find a manuscript that was wildly different than what you claim has never been changed? If you find something that's never been changed, then that manuscript should line up with everything that you guys have, but it didn't. As a matter of fact, when you look at it, it says the Sana'a manuscript, a 7th century palimpsest found in Yemen, features two of Quranic text. The lower, older layer contains variants in wording and verse order compared to the modern text, confirming that early regional variations existed before the final Uthmanic standardization. Boy, listen.
I hear a weak defense, I hear a logical gap. I see you dodging questions, falling right into the trap. You talking circles on me, but you're running out of breath. I pull the metal out, that's a philosophical death. What?
Boy, you just got fuerte. You see this right here? Look, he left. Why?
He didn't want the fuerte.
Why
He
did
didn't
you
want the
leave?
fuerte.
Why did you leave, bro? I turned around and he was gone. All I saw was Chris sitting there dancing to the song. Bro, you came in here
Oh no.
and you got elbow dropped, dog. He said that manuscript proves that it's never been changed. And when you look it up, guys, when you look up the Sana manuscript, this is according to Alliance of Former Muslims, right? This is according to Cambridge University, Harvard University, and the Alliance for Archaeological, whatever, I don't even see the rest of the name. makes it clear that this manuscript was radiocarbon dated, right? And it was also X-rayed. So what they did was they carefully grabbed it. And John, I think I've heard you speaking on this before, but I could be incorrect. They actually looked at the Sana'a manuscript. They X-rayed it so that they can see clearly what it said. They knew that it was authentic because they dated it and saw that it was written in classical Arabic, and then made it clear that the Sana'a manuscript and its original writing had to have been a manuscript that was hidden from Caliph Uthman before he bastardized the actual Quran. Oof, man, that was... This boy came in here and ran away. I just don't understand. I played the Fuerte song because you see, like, this has all kinds of Muslim DNA on it. Because y'all just come in here getting a quick one. You know, it's like, bro left. I can't believe he left.
Brother Maverick lets you guys out of something that you didn't let your wives out of.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
A quick one.
That's crazy.
A quick one.
That's crazy.
A quick one. You know what I'm saying? They got the wow. You know, I just don't know where they come with these presuppositions about the Quran being preserved. And when I read that to him, I turned and he was gone, guys. You know, and it's a shame. That's a shame because I really wanted to keep talking to him. I wanted to see if he was going to be honest about it, and he didn't want to. He didn't want to because he knew what was going on. You know, and that's okay. That's okay. You can't expect everybody to defend the faith with as much fervor for deception as the other Muslims. It just is what it is, man. But listen, Jesus is king, man. You guys say what you want to say. You talk about the Quran, but your stories fall apart and they don't hold up to scrutiny, man. That really is a shame. That was a good one, man. I've gotten so many good recordings today. Praise God, man. This is just not. It's not. It's
the
crazy.
one before. The one before this one, because Bot just like had a really good. This is why I kind of like limiting the Christian panel, because Bot was able to like ask him so many yes or no's, and I was cracking up. I was like, oh my gosh, Mav's gonna be able to clip this so well. Every yes or no this guy was hitting was killing me, and he just like. I'm sorry, what's your username? It's Bought by the Blood. Bought by the Blood at some point was like, this is crazy. This guy is saying yes, yes, yes. And then he asks him a question and he's like, no. And I was like, oh man, Mav's going to clip the heck out of this. It's so bad. It's been so bad today.
All of it. The thing about it is, I have, by watching a lot of other guys who go live, I have seen that there are so many amazing questions as it stands in contention with Islam that no matter how they answer, they're still out of luck, no matter what. Thank you. Huge super chat from Brother.
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry, John. No, I thought it was the guest who was coming in.
Oh, no,
real quick, super chat from Kefa says this is talking about the guy that John was talking to. He has Führer in his name. Can you ask him if he likes the mustache man? Yeah, I ain't asking him that, bro, because they'll restrict me. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know why he has Führer. He always he's called up a couple times. That word was no longer used because of what it was connected to. Absolutely. Go ahead. Yep.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Why does it like, and this is not to me trying to be facetious or anything, but why is it like Christianity versus Islam?
Go ahead, John. I know you want to take that one. Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
No. But may I finish the rest?
Sorry, I thought, yeah, go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
Why is it Christianity versus Islam? Only because I ask, because if you look at like, they're both Abrahamic religions, they're both from kind of like almost same source. I know that they all deviate and they're different sects, but like they believe that they don't believe that Jesus is the Son of God. They don't believe that Jesus is God. They believe.
Well, you're hitting kind of the main points here.
Okay.
So the reason.
Go on, please.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. The reason that it is Christianity versus Islam is because everything about Islam is antithetical to Christianity. So when we look at the foundation of certain beliefs, right? The foundation of Christianity is the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ as the Son of God. Okay? That is the foundational message. Everything about the Quran is the opposite of that. It negates the death, and if it negates the death, it negates the resurrection. If it negates the death and the resurrection, and it negates the person of the Son related to the Father in virtue of the Holy Trinity. So everything that is foundational to the Christian faith, the Quran specifically attacks. And so the Christians obviously are not going to take it laying down.
But equally, and no disrespect to you, because you seem very passionate, and it's lovely to see people defend religion, because growing up, it was not cool to be any part of any sort of religion. So, you know, I admire your passion. But I do have the question that is,
you're an atheist.
I'm not an atheist at all. No. I was brought up, so yeah, I was brought, so I have a complicated aspect of religion. So I've been brought up in many different religions. So I don't have an issue with Christianity or Islam. That's why, because I was brought up in a multi-faith kind of world, I don't see one as versus the other, because I see there being similarities and threads and stuff. And
may I ask you something?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Do you think that that you believe? Sorry if you heard the coughing in the back. It's my dog. She's dramatic. Do you think that Muslims truly believe that their religion is actually not that far off from Christians? Do you truly believe that?
So again, it's very dependent, and thank you for that question. There is a sect of Islam that's known as Sufi Islam, where they genuinely believe that it's just different variations to the same path. And they genuinely believe that there isn't much deviation. The Sunni and Shia Muslims that I have spoken to, and not all, but very few, have also pointed out to me that in Islam, if you're a woman marrying a Muslim guy or whatever, and you're Christian, Jewish, or you don't need to convert.
Okay. So I'm asking you this because I'm actually a Christian, but I was born and raised a Palestinian Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on here 3 times a week with Brother Maverick. And your original question when you came up here was, why is it always Christianity versus Islam?
Mm-hmm.
And then you made a statement about them both being Abrahamic faiths, but we don't perceive it that way. Because and the reason why it's Christianity versus Islam is because the faith of Islam, okay, comes from the faith of Christianity. They did it to themselves. They shouldn't have taken the Messiah, right? That's Jesus, without knowing what Messiah meant and without understanding that the Messiah came from a prophecy that was in the Torah, that could be found like in the Torah and in manuscripts. So the problem with Islam is that it claims origin, which is Christianity's origin, but it wants to change the destination for Jesus, who is supposed to be a Messiah. But when you ask them what's his mission, or like why is he the Messiah, they just say, oh, because he just is. Well, no, it's not because he just is. There's a whole reason why he is in Christianity, and it's a part of the prophecy. But they just they just remove that part. And but so just so
correct me if I'm wrong.
Just so you know,
sure.
It goes, I am Palestinian, but I was a Sunni Muslim. Okay. Yeah. So you would have thought that my parents weren't going to disown me, right? But they did. And I was 17. They also tried to get me arranged by marriage at 16 to a 30-year-old. So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, that's
that
okay.
Must have been traumatic.
Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. You didn't do anything. So don't worry about it. But what I'm trying to say is that there is a reason why it's Christianity versus Islam. Because for me personally, my parents did a number on my upbringing based off of he said, she said fairy tale stories that come from an origin of truth. And so when I discovered what that truth is, they said, oh, you're not going to take our he said, she said stories that are our additions. That's it. We're done. We're going to disown you. And the reason being is because they're not really both Abrahamic faiths.
Okay, thank you. So can I just, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. And it must have been very traumatic. And so I do.
It's okay.
apologize.
It's been sister. It's been like 14 years. Don't worry about it. I'm
I know.
31 now. It happened when I was 17. Don't worry.
But it's still quite damaging when religion is weaponized to hurt people, and I'm so sorry you went through that.
It's okay.
The only thing I want to say is, obviously it's very personal for you, and I understand that. And I'm only saying this from my point of view, is that I have been told, and that's one thing I wanted to, and I'm sorry that I tried to interrupt you, but the one thing I understood from my Muslim friends was that the Messiah, or Jesus, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, basically was the prophet, is so special in the Quran that he will be the one to bring God. He will be the one.
No, you're correct. But why, Sarah? Do you know? I'm sorry, S. Why?
What do you mean? Why?
Why is he special?
No idea.
They don't know either. They're going to tell you Allahu Alam. Only Allah knows why he decided to make him special. But we have those answers in Christianity. You can't just turn a blind eye to the answers that God already provided for what and who the Messiah was supposed to be.
There's also the fundamental nature of God. Because in Islam, Allah is the deceiver. Allah is the one who makes you do good or evil acts. And then Allah judges you for those evil acts that he made you do in the first place.
And to add on to that, I just want to make it clear to you that I understand you're coming at this from a view and an opinion of pragmatism, which is fine. But you must understand that from a theological and even a historical standpoint, Islam is not an Abrahamic faith. It is not the continuation of Christianity or Judaism. It is in no way even remotely correct. This is why there is something called the Islamic dilemma, because only a person who is raised Muslim or just really wants to be Muslim could believe that something as disjointed and quite frankly schizophrenic as the Quran could be considered the word of God. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what the Quran is. The Quran are the ramblings of a caravan robbing, child abusing individual who managed to manipulate people into thinking that he was a prophet from God. A person who said things like, these things are sin for you, but God told me they're permissible for me. Okay. A guy who decided that he could own slaves. A guy who did things that I won't even get into for fear of restriction. When you compare that and to think for a second with a mind of common sense that Jesus Christ could come into this world, be literally named sinless by the Bible, by his own enemies, even by the Quran, and then think that the same God is going to send a prophet after him who literally is one of the most reprehensible individuals that I can think of historically, to me, is quite honestly disgusting for anyone to classify Islam as an Abrahamic faith. There's nothing about Islam that aligns with the previous scriptures. What we have, again, are the ramblings of a guy who manipulated many people into believing that he was getting revelations from God. And make no mistake, he was getting revelations, but they damn sure weren't from God, okay? Because all I have to do is go over the actual origin event, that the joke that they call the revelation at the Cave of Hira, and you will very quickly, historically, and forensically see why this entire religion is based on a lie. Which is exactly why I get some of the stupidest answers ever when asking Muslims about who that was in the cave, how the identification was made. Where did they get the idea that the Namis who came to Musa was Gabriel? I've not even been doing this for a year yet. I'm coming up on a year. I have yet to get an intellectually honest answer to any of those questions.
So, just to clarify, I do come from a pragmatic background, but I also come from like a theological background. So my background is an academic theological background.
Okay.
I have to say thank you for allowing me to have this conversation, and allowing me to have a dissenting voice. So thank you.
Absolutely.
And being so respectful. My issue isn't so much the theology, because you've also, and just to be very clear, you have Sufism as well, which is quite understudied, and a lot of Sufis are very open and they believe in this and they reject certain aspects of it. So it's, again, Islam is a massive banner, just like Christianity is a massive banner. But I do want to say something. You've made a really interesting point that you say that it's not an Abrahamic religion in any way and you've said why you've considered that. But isn't there any kind of, I think what I'm trying to say is, in the Bible it says, love thy neighbor as thyself. In the Bible it also talks about the parable of the Good Samaritan. It talks about loving people who are opposite or different or aren't people that we consider
Good.
equals.
Here, let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. Do you have any children? Don't dox yourself. I'm just asking. Do you have any children?
No, I don't.
Okay, I do. All right. And let me tell you something about my children. I love my children, right? And the Bible talks about loving your neighbor. I am not of the opinion that when I love someone, I just let them continue to believe lies. Okay? Love entails sometimes having uncomfortable conversations with people to let them know what the truth is, whether the hell they get mad at you or not.
Yeah.
If I don't love you, I couldn't care less what you're doing. But because I love my fellow man, I'm on here. Listen, Word knows what my studio looks like. I could be here playing Arc Raiders and Fortnite all day long and hogging the gospel for myself. But that's not what I'm doing. Okay. And Bought by Blood and Harvard and Chris and everybody else here will tell you and make it known, make it very clear that this is not easy. Going live, preparing everything, setting up your overlays, going into OBS, downloading this, downloading that. It's not easy. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of management. And I am doing that because I love my neighbor. And I'm not looking for a pat on the back. Okay, because Jesus Christ did talk about loving thy neighbor. He also talked about exposing iniquity. He also talked about exhortation and having judgment on people so long as the judgment was righteous judgment, not your own subjective carnal judgments, the judgments from God. Looking at people through a lens of the gospel and saying, what you're doing is not right. So yes, Jesus did say love thy neighbor, but in that act of love, we let people know that what they're doing is wrong. Because then when you connect those dots to Islam and the Quran and Muslims are telling you that Jesus is not God, well, guess what? Muslims can think all they want that they hate Shaitan. Shaitan does not give a good damn if you hate him. So long as you are rejecting Christ, you're going to be with him for all eternity. It doesn't matter to him whether you hate him or not. The fact of the matter is, not a single Muslim will enter heaven under good deeds. Not a single one. That's just one of many variations between the actual Word of God and the Quran.
Oh,
Yeah, we
certainly
were
haven't got
talking.
a place in heaven for me. But
As we were talking about this, sister, with somebody else that came up here like 2 days ago, and honestly, it really just comes down to this. Let's just hypothetically say some Muslims never get to hear the true gospel, right? I was telling that person, God is going to judge them based off of who they followed and what they decided was going to be their objective truth. And if Muhammad is their objective truth, then they're always sinning. If Jesus is my objective truth and Jesus is sinless, then when I go and I meet my maker and I meet God, I meet the Father, he is not going to be like, what did you do to repent for all of these sins? No. He's going to be like, let me look inwards. I want to see who you looked towards and whose words you listen to try to change yourself inwardly, because that's the posture of the heart, and that's the work of the Holy Spirit. That is an entire doctrine that they have removed from Islam that we cannot condone.
So I understand where you're coming from, and I don't judge, because I think it takes a lot of courage for all of you to come here and to even say that you believe in God full stop is difficult, and especially in the Western world when we talk about Christianity, and I've seen it happen, and especially where there is erasure. But the only thing that I would like to ask, and it doesn't even come from a place of just judgment, it just comes from a place of, from my understanding of Christianity, and it's not like you guys' understanding at all, is that when we talk about the Samaritans, when Jesus talks about all these things of like the Good Samaritan and going out of your way, is there a way that our rhetoric, and I'm not saying any of you are saying the wrong thing or the bad thing, I'm saying, is there any way that our rhetoric can be toned down? Why, when we are brothers and sisters and we are this, we disagree with our brothers and sisters, but we do it internally. We don't do it externally, if that makes sense. When we have disagreements with our brothers and sisters, when we say to them, look, I think you're going down the wrong path, we try with love first, then we go to the harshness. And by being like, Christianity is more trustworthy in Islam, aren't we pitting two groups against each other rather than saying, hey, look, I understand where you're coming from?
Well, no, because the trustworthiness is an evidential claim.
Okay.
So when we say something is more trustworthy than another thing, we're not just making an emotional claim.
Yeah.
We're not just appealing to their emotions, but rather we're making an evidential claim in which we can say, hey, the foundations of Christianity, the claims of Christianity. So I gave you the example where Islam is antithetical to Christianity, right?
Yeah.
Islam has a book that says Jesus was not killed, nor was he crucified, but it was made to appear so, right? This comes 600 years after the events. Whereas in Christianity, has sources that talk about Jesus' crucifixion in depth within literally 1 to 5 years after the event, which is going to be represented in an oral tradition in like 1 Corinthians 15. So when we look at these things and we say, okay, and the Quran also makes claims that the Bible does not, in virtue of this, is the Quran, or Muslims rather. Muslims have this standard in which the Quran is divine dictation from God. Now, here's, and this is what destroys them ultimately. When you say that a book is divine dictation, it means that every single word of that book must be
literal.
from the, not just literal, but it is from the mouth of a divine agent. Right.
No, I get that.
And so what we don't have that in Christianity in the same sense where
but
we rely on
Sufis,
divine inspiration.
Sure. I believe that the Sufi Islamic people, and especially when I've spoken to you, don't take it verbatim and don't take it as diction, like as dictatorial.
I'm talking more classical Islam. So classical Islam is I agree. There's different sects and there's different versions. 100%. There's Quran only. There's Sufi. There's Shia. There all of these, right?
Yeah. But I understand what you're saying, and I think that that's also something very interesting that you've brought up, because which is quite funny, because as derived from English common law, which is also derived from Christianity, from biblical scripture, what I find interesting is there is the idea of the spirit of the law and the letter of the law. And the spirit is what it is intended, and the letter being the direct, kind of almost following it verbatim. So there are some schools of thought that do believe that perhaps with aspects of the Quran, it's very literal, when really it should be taken as a spirit as opposed to a letter.
Well, yeah, that's the majority. The majority position is that it is literal divine dictation. Where I agree that Sufi is going to be more minority. Whenever we have conversations that it is literal. Oh, did I? Am I still here?
No, that wasn't you. I brought something up. Go ahead, keep going.
Okay, you're good. Yeah, so when we're talking about, okay, Christianity is more trustworthy than Islam, if a Muslim comes up on this panel and in the spirit they say, oh, I'm Sufi, I don't actually believe that the Quran is divine dictation, then we're going to address that person differently than we would address someone who says, no, every single letter, every single dot is directly from divine. So where I agree with you on this, right? And I'm human. I mess up on this consistently.
Yeah.
But in Christianity, there's the principle of how we do apologetics. Apologetics comes from the Greek word apologia, and it just simply means to offer a defense. 1 Peter 3:15 says, give a defense for the hope that you have, doing so with gentleness and respect, right? And you're trying to allude to that in virtue of like Samaritans and how we should treat these individuals. So here's the way it kind of goes with me. Mm-hmm. I will try to always be respectful, but I will match your energy. So if you come in and you come in,
that's reasonable. That's actually very reasonable. No. And so for that, I actually agree on that point, because if someone is disrespectful, sometimes the only way is to push back. And I'm not saying in all cases. So I agree with that. My thing is, I think I've tried to express myself badly, and I apologize, is, would it not be better to say, I don't know, instead of being like overtly like Christianity is more trustworthy than Islam, and because you believe what you believe and you have passion and all this drive and this intellect, would it not be better to like have theological discussions or, you know,
Okay,
pull
I
them that way?
see.
Do,
So
but
I
you
see
need
what
to remember the context of it all. And the fact is, you can point the finger at Christianity as much as you want, but in the Quran, it's literally talking about either unalive us or make us come in submission and humiliation before we can have peace. So when you're
Oh no,
talking
I'm not pointing
about
the finger
these,
at Christianity. No. I'm not pointing.
but what
Yeah,
I'm saying to you is, this is the culture that we're talking to. The people
yeah.
that we're talking to believe that the only peace is us in the grave or us on our knees begging for their assistance. That's it. That's the only two options that we have from their
I think
perspective.
that
So sometimes that involves being harsh to explain to
Yeah.
them your own Quran disagrees with your Quran.
So
Yeah,
some
I hold on, Sarah.
Yeah, of
S.
course.
I wanted to say that I think I ideally understand what you're saying. You're wondering if we could possibly frame the argument as more of a question and less of a statement, right? But here's the problem with that
Mhm.
is that what we're essentially trying to tell you is that the reason why we say it as a statement is because when you have a peer for the statement
Word, you're breaking up. Word, hold on. Word, you're breaking up. Word, you're breaking up bad. I'm gonna mute you. You might have to drop down because you have like one bar, and it sounds like you're in the water, and we're not hearing anything you're actually saying.
I just want to say to all of you, thank you so much for giving me the chance to have dialogue and to
Sorry about
criticize.
that.
No, sorry, go on.
It's okay. I was just gonna say it's just a way to provoke an argument when it comes to debates. Does that make sense? Like it's
Yeah,
it's
no,
not
completely.
necessarily something that we're doing, to be
hurtful. No, I understand.
Yes.
I know, I understand
Yeah.
that. And thank you. No, and thank you for clarifying. But I want to say,
apologists act like lawyers for a jury is kind of how I think about these conversations.
Yeah.
We're lawyers for a jury, and when we do that, we're making clear claims in which we say, hey, Jesus Christ is guilty of being the Son of the living God. Jesus Christ is guilty of being, and if that's the case, then guess what? When you bring a different proposition than that, then I'm going to call that more on like this evidential basis of trustworthiness. Like,
no,
you're basically just saying, why can't we, like, functionally, if we were to level out your argument, you're saying, hey, for us having these conversations, why not word it differently? Is basically
and no, but it's not even like that, because you seem like all really lovely people, and I just want to say that, and you all seem very passionate. And what's interesting is it's a passion that I feel like has been lost from my life, but that's another story altogether. And it's actually really interesting to see your devotion and your strength of faith and it's so tough in times like this to have your level of strength. And so I thank you all for showing me that. But my thing is it's not even the way that you word it. I mean, yes, that's part of it. It's when mainstream media, when the world is pitting two groups against each other and saying, okay, this is better or that's better. I understand from a theological perspective. I understand from a gospel perspective, from a perspective of selflessness, you actually do want to teach people. I'm saying, can't you show how it is to be the better person? And can't you do these things? And clearly you have. And it was just something that I was intrigued as to why it was shock factory, but you've explained to me why it is. And it's just that we live in a world where everyone has to yell at each other. And so that was just my question, is why can't you be kinder? But you've been nothing but lovely to me, and I've presented some
like
harsh
Brother John said earlier, that's the thing, is that we match the energy of the person who's calling in, because what ends up happening is if we let people call into our shows, and it's not just for Muslims, right? It's for atheists, it's forever. If we just allow people, if we allow the illusion that we just let people bully us, then that's all that's going to happen, right? And they're going to continue to try that. Muslims have learned very quickly, especially with people like me, that you're not going to come in here dominating. You're not going to come in here with your rhetoric. You're not going to come in here pontificating, right? You're just going to have a conversation. And if you act like a child, guess what I'm going to treat you like, right? I'm not obligated to take the abuse of anyone and no one. Now, we have had here on the Cross Unit many amazing conversations, and a lot of them are posted up on my channel on YouTube. Go check it out. You can go see. I even put it in the title: amazing, polite Muslim, this and that. I've spoken with Prophet Daniel. Has spoken.
Don't doubt that at all.
Yeah, I've spoken with people, and I thank them for being cordial. I thank them for all the things that But at the end of the day, like Brother John said, we have to go where they're going. Right, because a lot of times with these guys, that's all they understand, and then and a lot of times, especially like when they come in insulting me or calling me names or whatever, or trying to do whatever it is that they do. A lot of times, I'll just let them say what they're saying, and then just so that the audience can see that this is normal behavior for this paradigm, and then I boot them because I'm not going to sit.
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's like perfect. That's exactly what I was going to say. Just so you know, like growing up, I sat in a mosque and they used to tell me if anyone says that Aisha was less than 17, 18 years old, tell them that they're lying, because we know that she wasn't 6 years old. We know she wasn't married at 9. Like, they would try to get ahead of this by brainwashing us young. And so I just want to say that they come up with aggression because they were taught with that aggression.
Yes.
We just need it.
And that's what I wanted to also just point out, that psychologically speaking, and you all seem like very intelligent people, but because they have been brainwashed and because they have been indoctrinated, so to speak, and if that is the case, they have been indoctrinated, they have been taught this aggression, is there not something where you can, but you all seem intelligent enough to elevate the conversation? And even like, I disagree with the host, when you say you take the abuse, because I think, again, you shouldn't be taking that abuse. I think it's always good to put a stop to the abuse when it starts. But is there any way that you can elevate the conversation and change it or de-escalate their aggression and understand that it comes from a place of them personally? That's
why we have a panel. Yeah, that's why we have a panel. That's what the panel's for. It's so that if it gets too direct, or if they feel it's too hostile or too fast with Maverick or one of the other guys, they could pivot. They could talk to one of us for a little bit until they're ready to go back. So we do try to alleviate that.
What I'm trying to say is, like, is there any way that you can, like, with the aggression doesn't always meet well with aggression, and sometimes de-escalating.
We do take every measure that we can, but you have to understand that certain people are going to act the way that they're going to act, regardless of how diplomatic you conduct yourself. Right? Yeah. No matter what, I've had people come in here calling me names, telling me that my wife and my daughters are whores.
Oh, that's horrible. I'm sorry.
And it doesn't bother. Here's the thing. It doesn't bother me because I promise and guarantee you that if they were in front of me, they wouldn't say it. Right. So you just only shown the world that you're a keyboard warrior and you're a tough ass behind a microphone. But when it comes to actually being a man, none of these guys actually do this. Right. It's not like they don't know what we look like. They know what I look like. Right. They know what John looks like. They know what John Steele looks like. They know what Logic looks like. They know the Word and I. They know Bear. Not a single one of us has had any one of these Muslims approach us on the street and even dare to try to repeat the stuff that they say to us when we're online.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree. And I think that's where I disagree with you, in the sense that you even take that, because I would just be, you're a better person, because I wouldn't.
Oh no, we don't take it. I will try to stop it diplomatically, but then like I said, like John said earlier, I will match the energy that you give. That's just how it is.
Yeah. And that's the other thing as well. It is something to keep in mind. It's not just about those who are on the panel with us.
Yeah.
As an apologist, as someone who defends Christianity, we are also responsible for the audience. We're responsible for what the audience sees.
Of course.
Whether it be Muslim or whether it be Christian. And so if there's a Muslim who comes up and we start engaging in a dialogue and like we remain perfectly calm, let's say just hypothetically, we don't match the energy. The person comes up, they present arguments, and we don't actually argue back on the same level, then it actually weakens not just like us as an apologist. That's not really that meaningful, but it weakens the message of Christianity to someone who might be having doubts in the audience. So when you get into an arena, which is what debating basically is, it's an intellectual gladiator match, and you have to go blow for blow in that sense. But yes, you still have to keep in line with like Christian tenets, and you have to keep in line with those things. But the responsibility doesn't just rely on the people who are on the panel and who we're conversing with, but also for a Muslim that could be having doubts in the back and in the conversation, who never dares to come up and guest request, but they are listening. Or to the Christian that doesn't know how to defend their faith, and they are listening. And so we have to pay attention to also taking care of them and teaching them to defend their faith, not by being a doormat, but by taking up a sword.
Yep.
Amen. So speaking of which, we do have another guest.
Of course. No, thank you for your time. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
And just to be
I was
clear,
going to say,
'cause I've just read.
if you want, sis, I was going to say, Brother Maverick, if you want to let her hang for a little bit, I don't mind.
That's fine.
If you want to stay with us.
No. I know.
No,
Thank you so much. And I just want to
Okay.
I just want to address the points very quickly. I'm not like telling Christianity to be softer. I'm not telling Islam to be softer. If there was a Muslim person, I'd be saying to a Muslim person, why aren't you softer? Isn't your religion meant to be about submission and surrender? I would be saying the same thing. I'm just saying, in a world where it's so het up, there's so much negative rhetoric, is there any way that we could just be calmer in the way that we say things? That being said, thank you very much for your time, and thank you so much for this filling.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye.
Yep.
All right. Hi, Waleed.
Who's-
Sorry about that.
Waleed, is he a Muslim?
Waleed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Muslim.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm Muslim.
Hang on one second, Waleed. You're not the guy who said he was going to come over from X, right?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. No.
All right. Give me 1 second, okay? We will speak to you in a second, but I want to see if this is one of the guys. Give me a second, okay, Waleed? Manuel, can you hear me?
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, what's up? Are you the guy from X?
No. I just joined your channel and I wanted to join the call.
Okay, are you a Muslim?
No, Christian.
Okay,
Christian.
all right. So so we'll add you. You just hang out on the side, okay? Because I'm expecting somebody. 1 second. I don't know how to say this guy's name. UMR. Are you there, Umar?
Yeah, I'm here, bro. I'm not the guy that you're expecting from X, and I'm a Muslim.
Okay, excellent. All right, so give me 1 second, okay, Umar? Waleed was up. If you just hang out for me, we'll get to you in a second, okay? Because there's a guy who's been talking all kinds of junk since the other day when I absolutely body slammed Jake the Metaphysician, and he's been crying in my X. He's been talking all this crap, and I'm tagging him back and forth on X right now because he said he's going to come up and he wants to debate. He's tagged me over 100 times on X. Let's see if he responded. Nope. I told him, he even said, I'll call you. I'll call in if 25 minutes. This was, how long ago was this tweet? Like, I don't even know how long ago. It says 11 minutes. I'll call. Oh, okay. I'll call in if you give us 25 minutes. Not mute me when I'm responding and deal with my questions head on as opposed to dodging supposedly like I'm doing now. Okay, so Abu Jana, let me know who you are if you call in, and we will see if you do any better at defending Jake the Metaphysician's idiotic view of Deuteronomy 22. And I promise and guarantee you, just like I did to him, I'm going to go ahead and give you that same body slam. All right, Waleed, thank you for calling in, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I only got like 8 minutes. I'll be here for 8 minutes, and then
let's do it.
I gotta do something else.
Let's get some of the best 8 minutes we can get. So Christianity is more trustworthy than Islam. What do you think, brother?
I honestly think that it doesn't make that much of a difference which one is more trustworthy than the other. We're not changing the world, honestly.
Oh,
the whole world is not gonna listen.
Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah.
Listen, hold on. Let me make my point. Go
ahead, Go ahead.
If I were to just body bag you right now, I'm not gonna change the world, and it's not gonna become Muslim. If you body bag me right now, tomorrow morning, trust me, the whole world is not gonna be Christian. Nothing's gonna
Jesus
change.
would save your life. Jesus would save your life if I body bagged you.
Listen. I'm just making an argument that Christianity has been around for 2,000 years, and the whole world is not Christian. You're not changing nothing. Islam has been around for 1,400 plus years. I'm not changing nothing. The whole world is not going to change. is gonna become Christian or Muslim.
right.
You're still gonna have
Actually, the
atheists.
whole world
You're still
did
gonna have
change with
agnostic. You're
Christianity.
still gonna have Jews.
All right,
You're
well,
still gonna have Hindu.
Well, listen. Thank you for your 2 minutes. You can have the other 6 minutes, bro. Okay, appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I thought we were gonna have a conversation about. Bro waited all that time. All right.
He said your life's work means nothing.
I'm sorry. Ooh, UMRK. What can I call you, brother? Because I don't understand what you're trying to say with that name, unless you just typed in a bunch of consonants in a row, or you're Russian.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. You can call me Umar. It's
Umar.
cool.
All right, Umar, you're a Muslim, brother. The prompt is Christianity is more trustworthy than Islam. What is your statement, brother?
Well, I mean, it depends now. Do you consider, I consider Jesus definitely trustworthy. I don't consider Paul trustworthy.
Okay.
So I need to understand, what do you mean by Christianity? Do you mean the teachings of Jesus, or do you mean by the teachings of Paul?
Well, the letters of Paul were already included in the Bible, in the New Testament, by the time your prophet was born. So are you insinuating that your prophet confirmed something other, that he just confirmed? Are you saying that he confirmed Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, but not the letters of Paul? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think he confirmed Matthew. Can you show me the verse where he confirmed Matthew, Luke?
Yeah, brother. Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayahs 43 through 48. He goes into
What does
depth
it
about
say?
confirming. Well, I'm not gonna say it all off the top of my head, but 43 through 48 essentially says that you get the Jews were given the Torah, right? In 43, 44, and 45, it talks about the Jews having the Torah, about Allah not knowing why the Jews are going to Muhammad for judgment when they have the Torah, in which is the truth, right? In which the judgments and the truth are found within. In 46, it transitions into Isa and the gospel, and it says that they have guidance and light and need to be following theirs. And then in 548, it's a longer ayah, and it talks about the fact that all three communities have the revelations that were given to them by Allah, and that they need to remain separated in religion because it was Allah's intent for Jews to remain Jewish, for Christians to be Christian, and for Muslims to follow the Quran. And as a matter of fact, it says that it was your God's intention to keep us separated, communities separated in religion. So now, is your insinuation that in Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah 48, is your insinuation that your God is telling Christians to follow something that was corrupted or tainted? Because the letters of Paul were already in that book centuries before your prophet was born.
Yeah, so when the Quran talks about the Injil, it's referring to the gospel that was given to Jesus.
Okay.
Which we don't know exactly where this gospel is, right? But what we do, sorry, just if you let me finish.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so what we do is when we interpret the gospel, we look at what the Quran, because the Quran, we believe the Quran is Al-Furqan, is the criterion. Whatever the Quran you can say agrees with the current Bible. What is
okay?
So what we consider.
Okay, so Umar, what
So
is
those
the?
are the-
Well, hold on. Okay, so you're because you're spewing off now. Okay, the word. What does the word Muhaymin mean?
Muhaymin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah 48, the word Muhaymin means protector. It means protector or guardian. Okay, great. So that's the word that's used. It is not a criterion, because the word for criterion in Arabic is furqan. That is not the word that was used. Okay. Now, on top of that, let me address your first point. This magical Injil that you say was revealed to Jesus, before your prophet made that erroneous statement about this book that never existed, let me ask you a question. What book is it that you're saying that Jesus had? Because in the New Testament, it's made clear that when Jesus referred to scripture, he referred to the Torah, which he referred to as the unbreakable word of God. If he did sermons and he preached from it, that's what he preached from. And we know it was in Hebrew, right? The Gospels are the recordings of the teachings and the occurrences of the life of Jesus Christ. And these are divinely inspired writings as the Gospels. Later on, Paul ended up getting a revelation from Jesus Christ after he had already ascended after his resurrection at Damascus, which, by the way, there were witnesses to. All right. And now you're saying all of a sudden, well, it's about Paul. Well, here's the problem with that. Your prophet made a historically erroneous statement about, according to you, that this was what was revealed to Isa. The problem with that, my friend, is that nothing in history records that Jesus preached from anything else except the Torah. And nothing in history shows, manuscripturally or otherwise, that anything that is the gospel was ever what we had, other than what we have now. Okay, I'm sorry I said that very poorly, but manuscript evidence and archaeology shows that what we have for the gospels has always been the same. So if you're making the insinuation that it is talking about something that is lost or something that is before, you just killed yourself twice, because you're now saying that the Quran has invalid commands in it. Okay. And on top of that, you're also saying that your God is now telling Christians to follow something corrupted. So which one do you want to tackle first?
All right, yeah, there's a lot of things. Your name is Manuel, right? Sorry, what's your name, sir?
Maverick.
Maverick. Okay, Maverick. First of all, pleasure speaking to you, Maverick.
Likewise.
So, Maverick, if we're going to have a fruitful discussion, I think you're going to have to give, I'm going to have to give you time to address each point, which I'm
let's go one point at a time. Here, we'll start over. Let's go one point at a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of let me just start, please. You made a lot of
go ahead
statements. I just want to clarify. So you first of all, I said the Quran is al-Furqan.
Yeah.
So al-Furqan means the criterion.
I know.
What Muslim scholars interpret this is that we use the Quran to determine which parts of the Bible are, revelation or.
Okay, good. Stop right there. Good. Stop right there. No, Umar, because you already made a statement. You said you want to go one point at a time. Okay. So what's going to end up happening is if you keep going on and on, we're going to end up going all of these tangents again. Okay. So now you're going right. Exactly. So you're going by what Muslims scholars say we should do and utilize the barometer of the Quran as to determine what truth is in the Bible, right? Correct. Great. Boom. How many plagues happened in the Exodus events?
How many plagues happened in Exodus events?
Yep.
I don't know.
How many plagues occurred during the Exodus events in Egypt, according to the Quran?
No, I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know.
9. How many plagues occurred in the Exodus events according to the Bible?
I'm guessing it's not 9.
It's 10. Okay. So now this is what we're going to do. We are going to utilize your barometer of truth to see which one is true. And we're going to go ahead and verify it historically. Sound good? Okay, great. According to the Bible, the 10th plague was the events that are now celebrated today as the Passover. That was plague number 10. If you spread the blood of the lamb over the top threshold of your door, the spirit of death skipped and did not take your child. Okay. This was, until this day, still celebrated among Jewish culture as one of the most prominent holidays that they hold dear. Okay. For some reason, the Quran claims that it didn't happen, that the plagues stopped at number 9. From a historical lens, are you now saying that the Jewish people are celebrating a false holiday, something that never happened? Because Jewish people have been celebrating the Passover for over 3,000 years. But according to the Quran, it didn't happen. And according to your standard, we have to use the Quran as the barometer of truth. So should I take the Quran and go around to Jewish people and telling them that the 10th plague never happened, so they should stop celebrating the Passover?
I'm going to concede that I know much about this particular thing, but I'm going to ask you a question.
You just conceded your entire paradigm, because if your Quran is wrong about even Omar, you just said.
Let me complete what I'm saying. I'm asking you: does the Quran explicitly say that the specific 10th Passover, which you are referring to, didn't happen? Does it explicitly say it? I'm not talking about.
Okay, Umar. Not only does it not mention it, it says that there were only 9. Okay,
I'm not saying that.
Can I finish my answer? I'm not missing it. If you would let me finish my answer, you would see that I'm about to address your second point, which is your argument from silence. Because not only does the Quran not mention it, but it stops at number 9. because the
What is number
Quran did not want to acknowledge the Passover because it is the most important one of the most important events in Jewish history, which Muhammad did not want to acknowledge. The problem with that is that the 10th plague historically is the events that led to the Passover, my friend. So when the Quran says these plagues happened, but there were only 9 signs, well, guess what? When we look at it and we know it was 10 signs, and we know that the 10th plague was the one of the Passover, you're just trying to play word games. The problem is, even if it wasn't the Passover, which we know it is, it wouldn't matter because we know historically that there were 10 plagues.
Okay.
And we knew that for thousands of years through even outside sources to the Torah that there were 10 plagues for Egypt. So now it took your entire point about using the Quran as the barometer for truth and threw it straight out the window, and it only took one historical event.
And
So
Surah
hold on a
1094.
second. So who? Sorry, can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, Umar.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is, so in a perspective that the Quran is from God, right? It's revelation from God. So won't God correct the people and tell them this is actually the number of plagues that, or the number of things that happen? Like, I mean, if, for example, we had to go by
He doesn't
what
do that.
Wait, hell, can I complete? Or if you're just gonna talk, then I'll just keep quiet and you guys can just go on, right? So if we were to go by what we believe are the 10 Passovers, then there's no need for God to provide any new revelation. We just believe whatever we want to believe. The reason why we got Allah revealed the Quran was to correct our incorrect beliefs of what we think are the 10 Passovers, right? So that's the reason why we
but
have
Umar,
revelation.
it doesn't matter. You know what you just did? You just said, well, it doesn't matter because the Quran is the corrector. Umar, respectfully, I don't give a good damn if you believe that the Quran is the corrector, because that's just one of countless historical alone ways that I can show you that the Quran is nonsense. Have you read chapter 10 verse 92?
Let me just pull that up verse up for you.
And yeah, exactly, Abdil. The Quran never says it came to correct anything. That is a modern Muslim belief. But I mean, unfortunately, we have to address it because it's something that they continue to say. And the Quran doesn't correct anything because it doesn't have the authority theologically or historically to correct the thing.
It actually says the opposite. That it came to defend and protect the truth that was in the previous.
This is actually the thing. I think what your main argument, which you were talking about, with all due respect, is what they call today the Islamic dilemma, right?
No,
And
we're
the
not,
Quran
bro. We're not
confirms-
even on the Islamic dilemma right now.
No,
I'm just
you were talking about-
showing you that your book is too incoherent to correct anything. It doesn't have the authority to do so. It doesn't have the historical authority to do so. It doesn't have the theological authority to do so, nor does it align with the message of any of the previous prophets. Did you find Surah 1092 yet?
Yeah,
Can you read it to us? I want you. Yeah, read it to us.
One second. Today, one second. Sorry.
Hold on, Umar. What are you guys saying about the audio? Somebody is saying, let me know. Word, can you look at the comments and let me know what's going on there? Somebody's complaining about audio. I don't know about who.
I can tell you. I can tell you about the audio.
What is it?
I don't know. It's fine to me.
Yeah, every guest you've had has like an echo, but it's an instantaneous echo. It's not like I hear double voices.
Okay,
basically.
Yeah. Okay, all
you
right.
can hardly understand him.
Okay, let me see.
It's the same way on YouTube. I checked.
Oh, is it? Okay. Let me see. Oh, so it's got to be a Video Ninja thing because when the other TikTok guests talk, you guys don't hear it, right?
What do you mean?
Do you hear an echo? Like if Word or Harvest talk, you don't hear an echo, right?
I can hear an echo on myself slightly.
I don't hear an echo on Word or anyone. I only hear it on the guests that you bring up.
Okay.
In terms of YouTube.
Okay. All right. So it's a Video Ninja thing. Okay. So I got to figure it out, guys, because I've not changed anything, literally anything, as far as like the way the guests work. I might have to use something different. I don't know. But for now, I will just deal with it for now, I guess, because I wouldn't even be able to track it down in time for people to just want to stick around. So, Umar, did you find Surah 1092?
Yeah, Yeah, I'm on the verse.
Okay, can you read it to
What's
me?
your question?
Can you read it to me?
Today we will preserve your corpse so that you may become an example for those who come after you, and surely most people are heedless of our examples.
Yeah. Who is what this conversation? Who is it taking place between?
Allah is basically referring to the
Who is he speaking
corpse
to?
of Pharaoh.
He's speaking to the corpse of Pharaoh.
I think so. Let me just.
Yeah,
read
he's
the
speaking. He's
context.
speaking to the Pharaoh. But was the Pharaoh alive at the time of that conversation?
Not sure. 1 second. Let me
Yeah.
just
So if you look, so I'll explain it. So in Surah 10, 90, 91, and 92, this is about the Egyptians that were unjustly. Where is that coming? Where's that sound coming from? Oh, okay. This is about the Egyptians who were unjustly pursuing the Israelites out of Egypt through the Red Sea, right? And according to the Quranic event, the Pharaoh was with his army, and as the Red Sea collapsed in on them, apparently the Pharaoh tried to take a shahada, which was promptly rejected by Allah. And that led up to Allah stating to the Pharaoh that he would at that point preserve his body for generations after him. Right? Umar, when the hell was a Pharaoh's body from the time of the Exodus events ever preserved for anyone after him? First of all, when was a Pharaoh ever preserved like that by Allah? And where was that body presented to? Who was it presented to what generations, and where? Because historically, we have nothing like that happening. And that event was over 3,000 years ago. You think that the Quran is the barometer of truth. Here's another glaring historical error. When did this happen?
It's happened at the time of Moses, obviously.
No. When did Allah preserve the body of the Pharaoh and present it to the generations after him as an example? When did that happen?
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure myself. I think
the answer is never. The answer is never. It never happened.
Well, I totally appreciate that's your perspective. I mean, how do you know it's not been preserved? How are you so sure?
It happened 3,000 years ago. There is no historical record of a pharaoh's body being preserved and presented to anyone. As a matter of fact, Egyptologists Can I finish my answer?
Yeah,
Egyptologists only recently discovered the mummified remains of what they think is Ramses II. And there's only one other mummy that they performed autopsies on that could have even remotely been the pharaoh during the time of the Exodus events. They did retroactive autopsies on these mummies and discovered that they both lost their lives to old age, that they did not lose their lives to drowning or asphyxiation, that they were not crushed by countless kilotons of water, and that if they were, at the time, 80 to 90 years old, they even were able to discover that who they think is Ramses II had extremely bad tooth decay, poor circulation, and arthritis. I can tell you what they didn't discover. They didn't discover a perfectly preserved body that the Quran claimed was going to happen. And they also still don't have a historical documentation of any pharaoh's body being presented as an example to any generation after him. This never happened. No society from that time frame recorded it. Egypt didn't record it. The surrounding nations didn't record it. And we have nothing like that ever being documented. So I'm going to ask you again, when did it happen?
Yeah, I'm going to ask, I don't know, I'm just saying, like, we have, like, so many mummies, right, that have been preserved to mummification and all that kind of stuff.
Mummification is not preservation, my friend. And even if I wanted to grant you that very desperate correlation, and I mean very desperate, even if we said mummification was preservation, nobody knows what happened exactly to that pharaoh. Egyptologists only believe that they have the body of Ramses II. There's no way for them to know that for sure. And even if they do, it only proves that your Quran was wrong about another thing, because he didn't drown. If that is Ramses II, you would still have to explain how the other Egyptians found his body among countless thousands of other bodies were able to identify him after being crushed by the Red Sea and say, we found a pharaoh. I know there was tens and tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of soldiers out here, but damn it, we found the pharaoh. Are you kidding me?
Wait, so are you telling me that they have identified a potential mummy that is what they claim is the same pharaoh that the Quran preserves, claims preserved, but you're saying that it doesn't have any proof that it was drowned? That's what you're saying, right?
Egyptologists have performed retroactive autopsies on what they feel may have been Ramses II, and they have made it clear and been able to conclude that if this is Ramses II, the pharaoh at the time of the Exodus events, if it is, even if it was, he still didn't drown. He passed away of old age.
Yeah, I can understand that explanation, but again, that's limited to based on our current tools that we use to determine.
Umar, come
like
on,
said,
brother. Umar, brother.
Bro,
these people were able. Hold on, bro. Don't bro me. These people were able
You're
to tell me.
back?
These people were able to tell you that he had arthritis. They were able to tell you that he had extreme tooth decay. They were even able to tell you that he had poor circulation. And you're going to sit there with a straight face and tell me that they would not be able to ascertain that he drowned? That's what you're telling me?
Maybe they don't have the tools today to confirm that. I don't understand. Like, how is that?
I don't have the tools to listen to that kind of dishonesty. The Quran, which is so demonstrably false on everything, well, on many things anyway, I'll be fair, on many things, cannot be utilized as a barometer of truth when it is wrong about so much, ladies and gentlemen. The Bible is a historical document. I don't even have to go outside of it to prove that the Quran is false. But just for the sake of good measure, I do it to show everybody that the Quran makes so many claims that are historically verifiably false. This boy got so desperate, he said, well, how do we know that the Passover is the one that the Quran just skipped over? Because it's the 10th one. Do you guys even know the symbolism behind the number 10 and why it was the 10th plague and how it is represented in ancient Hebrew culture? That's why the Quran skipped over it. Ooh.
And the whole authority thing, he kept on saying Furqan, Furqan. The Torah and Gospel are also called Furqan because they are the judgments over the people.
Yeah.
But when you look at 1094, the Bible is the authentication for the Quran.
Yep.
And if there is a problem, the Bible shows that the Quran is false.
Yes.
That's 1095 reminds them, but if you check, you'll find that it's false and leave Islam.
Yeah.
So don't check.
Yeah, exactly. And 1094, yeah, makes that abundantly clear. Check with the people of the book. Well, if I check with the people of the book, guess what's going to happen? We're going to see that things are wrong in the Quran. So, and that's why it ends with, and be not one of those who doubt. Oh, okay, You're telling me I can check, but I shouldn't check?
Yeah, don't dare, or you'll be one of the losers. You'll leave Islam by understanding.
Something I love is when Muslims come up with like scientific or the Pharaoh argument or anything like this, and they say, "Okay, this is how we know like Islam is from God, or this is how we know the Quran is reliable." Because it falls apart with one question. Yep. It falls apart with the one question and just saying, "Okay, are you saying that your justification is something that the early Muslims, the early followers of Muhammad, would not have had?"
Right.
Everything that you bring up is like some sort of scientific miracle. First, it obviously has like instantaneous issues. But even if we grant it, it means that the people at the time of the Prophet Muhammad, or the people at the time of like the original companions or whatever, they didn't have access to any of this.
Yes, exactly.
So what good reason, and this is the question that hurts them, what is a good reason that people believed Muhammad? Because you can't say it's scientific miracles because they didn't have verification of that yet, did they?
Yep.
So,
Amen. That yeah, amen. That's it. I couldn't agree more, man. Hey guys, do me a favor. Chris, can you say something to see if your reverb went away real quick?
1 2 1 2.
Does he still sound? Does it still sound like double to you guys? Anybody on TikTok? Does Chris's voice sound like it's doubled?
It's a little less now, but just a bit.
1 and 2.
It's better.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. He sounds better. All right. Good. All right, Logan. Thank you. Yeah. I was just tinkering with the stuff. It's different volume mixers, guys. So with Windows, there are things that sometimes Windows does in their services and behind the scenes that you're not really sure what's going on. But thank you, Marcos. I appreciate you, brother. God bless. Let's bring up who's next. And it doesn't look like the guy from X is going to join. Surprise, surprise. Let's see. Trippy Night. Let's bring up Trippy Night. At the end, guys, Jesus. Oh, you know what? Let me catch up on Super Chats real quick. Brother Israel says, chat, like and subscribe. Really appreciate you. Amen, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat, man. God bless. Jesus is king, man. And no matter what, guys, if you're going to say that the Quran is a criterion of truth, be ready to answer some extremely, extremely uncomfortable questions. Trippy Knight, is that your name? Hello? Trippy Knight. Trippy, I know you hear me, bro. Trippy, are you there? All right. Fine.
He took those mushrooms and you can't remember.
Fine.
the Muslims in the chat are like super happy he's here.
Yes, finally.
Including the guy that I body bagged.
Yeah, I know. But he didn't say nothing. I don't even know who Trippy Knight is. Well, they're really happy. Let me see. I haven't looked at this. He's not showing any proof. Showing any proof of what? It's true, bro. I just bit the lobby and I don't question it. Believe, okay. Trippy Knight says he believes and doesn't question it. If that's the guy that you guys are happy was in here, it's probably better I couldn't hear him. Let me see. For you guys, anyway. How can someone look into Muhammad's life and think to themselves, I want to follow this man? You know what, Abdiel? That's a great question. But here's the problem with that. I don't think that the majority of Muslims look into Muhammad's life honestly and say that. I think that the majority of them don't have a choice anyway, right? And even when they're old enough to say, man, this doesn't sound right to me, they don't want to be ostracized from their communities and their families, so they just kind of keep going along with it. Because even when you start discovering and hearing these things about Muhammad, you can't question it anyway. You know that questioning Muhammad actually gets you some severe consequences in a lot of communities throughout the world, you know? So I don't think that it's be honest with you, I think more Muslims than not have had a doubt, and they don't really say it because they can't. You know, will I lie to you and tell you I blame them? No, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Let's see.
Trippy Night.
Trippy
Can
Night.
you hear us?
Trippy.
Dude, I'm going to drop you if you don't answer. Oh, I could barely hear you, dude. Pull up your volume.
I can't hear him at all.
No, you're muffled. You're still, it's like you're underwater.
I hear, but a faint whisper, but a still small voice, and it's not the Lord.
Trippy.
He's there. Hold on. He's there. Hold on. Trippy.
I can't hear him at all.
You got to fix your mic. Do you have headphones on? Take your Bluetooth off.
Machiavelli says that he's Catholic. Why would Muslims be celebrating if a Catholic joins the panel?
Sorry, Trippy. We don't know.
All right. Yeah, no, I don't know. Let's see on X, guys. Let's see if
we have another person.
Al Iraqi. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you're from Iraq, or would I be wrong?
No, you're correct.
Oh, cool. I won't even tell you how I guessed that. I'm psychic, man. All right, brother. You a Muslim?
Alhamdulillah, yes.
Alhamdulillah. All right, man. Christianity is more trustworthy than Islam. What do you think?
No.
No.
I don't think that.
Tell me why.
Astaghfirullah.
Tell me why.
Because I hold the Quran as the highest authority over anything else, and therefore more trustworthy than anything else because it's directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
More trustworthy. I'm sorry. What? Can you repeat the first statement? You said that the Quran is more trustworthy because what?
Because it's from God.
It's from God?
Yes.
Prove that it's from God.
So that's a different way to prove it's from God. Is that the Quran is unique
In what
from
way?
any other religious book.
So is William Shakespeare's
Many
Romeo and
ways.
Juliet. Okay, so then, okay, congratulations. Romeo and Juliet's from God too.
That's in many ways.
Before Romeo and Juliet, before Shakespeare's writing style, nothing had ever been written like that. Not in the rhythm, not in the soliloquy. Nothing like William Shakespeare had ever been written. If that is the parameters we are now using, then Macbeth and Romeo and Juliet are getting you into heaven.
So firstly, Romeo and Juliet does not claim to be from divine.
I don't care.
It doesn't claim
I don't care.
prophecy.
That was not your standard. Your standard was its uniqueness. Your standard was not a text that claims that it's from God. If I write in my notebook right now, this is from God, does that mean it's from God?
No.
Okay, great. Here, let's talk about this thing that you got from God. Where did it start? What was the first revelation? Tell me about the original encounter between Muhammad and what you think was the angel Gabriel. What happened?
What happened? He came down when Muhammad went up to the mountains.
Which mountains?
Muhammad came up to the mount of in Mecca.
Cave.
Yeah. Okay.
Cave, yeah, in a cave in a mountain. When he whose mic is
it's another guess. He's just going along. Go ahead.
And when he came up to the mountain into the cave, an angel descended from heaven.
Okay.
And said to him, "Read."
Which angel? Which angel?
Gabriel.
Gabriel. Okay. And how do we know that? How do we know this is Gabriel?
Because how should I say, Muhammad, he was informed by that angel.
That's not what I asked you. How do we know that this was the angel Gabriel who revealed himself in the cave of Hira?
That's what the prophet told us.
That's what the prophet told you? How could he have told you that when he ran home and had to have his wife's cousin identify who this angel supposedly was? And on top of that,
I'm not Sunni, so I don't believe in that.
What do you? Okay, so what do you believe? What are you? Are you a Shia?
Yes.
Okay, so what do Shias believe about how this occurred?
So we believe that when Muhammad came up to the cave and the angel came down, he said to him, "Read." And then the prophet said, "What should I read?" Because he didn't present anything to him.
Correct.
And then he said, "Read." And the prophet said, "What should I read?" Not that he was illiterate. The prophet can read, but there was nothing there to read. And then the angel recited the rest of the verse to him. And then Muhammad went down back. And then he told his wife about it.
So let's talk about that. So you do believe the story. You do believe the story because you just said he went and told his wife about it. See,
no, but I don't believe that he ran down as in was afraid. And I don't believe that his cousin confirmed that it was the angel.
Well, Iraqi, I respect that you don't believe that, but unfortunately, I'm not here to go along with what you believe. I'm here to go along with what is historically corroborated. Okay, and here's the thing about that story. Just like way earlier on when I was live, I was asking a Muslim for corroboration, right? For the corroboration of contemporaries. Now, the reason that I believe that Muhammad did say this is because it is actually corroborated by his contemporaries, okay? And the person who actually corroborated that Muhammad said this to me was Aisha, okay? And Aisha says in Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, and I know you don't believe in those as authoritative, but I'm telling you that from a historical standpoint, you're obfuscating like 90% of the details that occurred between what happened in that cave and what's not. And you're not even looking over the obvious logical fallacies, right? Why would an angel of light tell Muhammad to read or recite something that he had never had access to or something that had never been revealed to him? Why would he do that? Does that make sense to you?
So,
what was he supposed to
what
recite?
sense?
What was he supposed to recite? You made it clear that he told him, read, right? Or some people say that he was told, recite. It doesn't matter what he told him to read or recite because Muhammad had never even heard of the Quran. Not a single ayah had been revealed to him. But you guys believe that an angel of light directly from Allah came into a cave of all places and told him to read something that he had never gazed his eyes upon or recite something that he had never heard. I already have an issue with that because Between you and I, it's quite honestly the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. Iraqi, I have a couple things written in my notebook. Tell me what's in here. Read it and recite it right now. Now, read it. Or I'm going to push you so hard that you cannot bear it.
I don't believe that he was pushed.
What's in here? I don't care.
I don't believe he
What's
was
in
pushed.
here? Okay, great. I don't care what you believe. What's in this notebook?
Then why I'm here?
You've never read it.
Then why I'm
I've
here?
never read it out loud to you.
Then
What
why
are you
I'm
supposed to
here?
receive?
Then why I'm here? If you don't believe what I, if you don't care what I believe in,
Iraqi, because I'm going
then
off
why
the
am
one
I
point that you
here?
made. Because I'm going off the one point that you made. I haven't.
Yeah, but he didn't push.
Okay,
He didn't push.
even if you don't believe that he did, what's in this notebook?
I don't know.
You don't know. So how the hell was Muhammad supposed to know?
That's why he said I couldn't read. It was more rhetorically
Are you
asked.
understanding the question?
I understand your question.
Would an angel of light be so ignorant that he would
It was
ask
no.
a
It
human
was
being?
asked rhetorically.
No, it wasn't rhetorical.
It
He was
was.
commanding him to read.
He was reciting. He said, "Read," and then
Ikra.
the
What
prophet.
does ikra mean? What does ikra mean?
Iqra. Not ikra. Iqra.
What does it mean?
It's different.
What does it mean?
It means read.
Read. What was he supposed to read?
So this was not to Muhammad as in he should read, but more. This is about. This is more about reading or reciting the verses of the Quran.
This is more about not lying, bro.
Why do Muslims say that he can't read when Surah 29:48 said, if you could read or write, people would have doubted?
This is
like when the Quran literally tells you that the fact that he couldn't read or write was why Allah gave it to him as a proof.
Yep. What is he supposed to read? It's rhetorical. I don't believe he was pressed. I don't care. You never read this, right? Okay, now read it. Recite it. I don't know. It was rhetorical. I don't know what's in the notebook. I know. So what was Muhammad supposed to read or recite? It was rhetorical. I don't believe he was pressed. I don't care. You see what I'm saying? Like Shias, you're actually worse than the Sunnis. At least the Sunnis give up somewhat of a fight. What are you guys going off? Oh, I don't believe. We believe. I don't care. Muslims, I don't care what you believe because you reject Jesus Christ. The moment you establish a religion that was fundamentally based on rejecting Jesus Christ, I don't care what you believe. I care what you can prove. I've been doing this for 10 months and no Muslim has proved a thing to me. It is so sad that over 2 billion people follow this false, forced, horrible, demonstrably false religion. It saddens me to no end. Brother John, I'm so glad you've been hanging out here, man, because as you can see, I know that you well, no, John Steele is he can be animated at times. He's not the most stoic individual, so this is not too new to you. I love when he gets so mad he starts calling people like dumbass and stuff. That always makes me laugh. Always makes me laugh.
Oh yeah, he has some good crash outs. I occasionally have some good crash outs.
Yeah.
I got a whole song now.
I saw that. I don't. Yeah, this isn't too new for you. Yeah, this is not too different for you. We're still waiting for Abu Jana on X to join up, and I'm live on X. Ladies and gentlemen. He's been talking crap since the day that I gave Jake the Metaphysician the elbow drop. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother John, maybe you probably haven't seen the video. I wouldn't surprise me. I'm not, the most famous guy in the world, and I don't want to be. Last week I had a conversation. Brother Chris saw the video with Jake the Metaphysician. He called me and God Logic out on X, and then he went live. That day that he went live, that he called God Logic out, he went live literally at exactly the same time that Logic goes live. And you know why they do that, right? Because they want to make sure there's no chance that Logic's actually going to show up on their live. Well, I wasn't streaming that day, and I joined his stream, and I pissed him off pretty bad. So we were talking about Deuteronomy 22, and particularly verses 25 and 26 and 28 and 29. He was reading the NIV and trying to make the insinuation that a woman is forced to marry the man who assaults her. in intercourse related assault, as you well know, right?
Mhm.
I made it clear to him that looking at the Hebrew lexically and the context of it, that this is not about that, and we know that because the word is different, the punishment is different, and when you look at the word tafas as it was used in other parts of the Old Testament, this is clear that the word tafas was used when you were like grabbing a sword or taking hold of something else, right? This was about seduction, and if you go back to Exodus 22, it actually makes that clear as well. His entire thing was that the betrothal status is what changed it. And I was like, no, brother, betrothal status is just whether it's adultery or not. That has nothing to do with whether this is actually a violent assault of a woman. This man had the audacity to ask me for early patristic sources supporting my claim about Deuteronomy 22. Patristic sources, early Christian sources. I was like, so your position is that you want me to find you a church father? Church fathers, patristic sources, which are of the New Testament about Deuteronomy 22, when Deuteronomy had already been interpreted and explained centuries and centuries and centuries before the patristic sources, before the church fathers were born. That's what you're saying, right? And I wouldn't let him off of it. I would not let him off it, dude. I just kept on. No, explain to me why it's a different word. Jake, the metaphysician, his final answer was, and you're not going to believe this, because it doesn't have to use the same word. That was his answer. Jake, the metaphysician. That was his answer. What do you think about that?
Jake and I go back way back.
Yeah.
So I was on a Facebook Messenger group with Jake for 2 years, something like that. And we would talk like every single day. And so Jake, I watched from the bottom to the top in terms of Islam, his rise and stuff like that. He's been on a kick lately of where he wants to argue like the morality in the Bible and stuff like that.
Yes.
Another verse now. So here's the thing. Let's say I just I take a different approach, and I say, let's just say, okay, concede for a second that's the point, and the person had to marry the person who raped them, and concede that for a second. I then take them to Samuel. So, do you know what Samuel actually says about this in virtue of Tamar and not Absalom, but oh gosh, what's the brother's name? Absalom and what's his brother's name?
I know what you're referring to, but I don't remember the story specifically. I don't remember the scripture specifically what you're talking about as far as this point. No.
Oh, it's Absalom and gosh, it's gonna bug me. Someone.
Esau? Oh, Noel says Esau.
No, it's not Esau.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not Esau.
Okay.
No, it's not Esau.
No, you're meaning David's sons, right?
Yeah, David's sons. It's not Absalom. It's
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna look it up. Now see when
Go ahead.
Adoniah?
No.
A Ben something? Is it a Ben something? I know it starts with an A.
Amnon. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. That's it. So, have you ever read that story?
Yeah, not for years though. That's why I'm curious to see what angle you're taking with it.
Yeah. Here, let me pull it up.
Oh no, wait, that's not.
Actually, if you want, you can show it on the screen.
Yeah, I'll bring it up. Yep.
It's in 2 Samuel.
2 Samuel
13.
13. All right, let me bring it up here. One second. 2 Samuel 13. Okay, let's go here. Let's bring up something that's not that. Okay, there we go. That's good. All right, let's see how it looks. All right, that's
This
cool.
is
Here.
this is brought up in scholarly commentaries as well.
Okay.
So even if we grant this argument, we are so far removed from the culture that this type of mindset doesn't make sense. But if you actually look at 2 Samuel, it shows you a glimpse of the type of mindset that women actually would have had in reference to this type of issue.
Yeah.
So in 2 Samuel 13, I'm going to pull it up on my side because I can't see the full screen on yours.
Let me see. That's a little better, guys. But I know the screen. The
So
phone screen
yeah, it's verse 16.
Okay. All right, here we go.
So this is after. Now, just keep in mind, Amnon has just graped his sister. Okay. And so in 15 it says that Amnon hated her with a very great hatred. For the hatred which he hated her was greater than the love with which he had loved her. And Amnon said to her, "Get up and go away." Now this is immediately after he grapes her. And notice what she says. But she said to him, "No, because this wrong in sending me away is worse than the other that you did to me." By Tamar's own lips, she says, "Listen, graping me is one thing, but now sending me away, you have functionally what this would have produced," and scholarship notes this, is this would have produced a life where she is unmarriable. She's unable to be married. She's unable to produce children. She has now been tainted in such a way to where her entire life, which would have been reliant on a man as the provider far more in that culture than this culture, it's basically fundamentally a type of death sentence.
Yeah.
So this is why a grapist has, like in Deuteronomy, you see a grapist actually does have capital punishment. When there's an instance of grape, it is kind of a symmetry between when you unalive another person, then guess what? Your life should be taken. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, right?
Yeah.
When you grape someone, the Bible puts it on the same playing field and says, "Hey, your life should be taken."
Yeah.
So,
yeah, buddy, I 100% agree. You know, I hadn't read that in so long, I completely forgotten about that story. So thank you for that. Yeah, the mindset for, you're absolutely right, especially back then, was extraordinarily different. And you know, guys, like Brother John just said, the punishment we know for that kind of violent assault of a woman was death, right? No, it was capital punishment, and that's something that Jake the metaphysician cannot contend with. So you know, he tries to obfuscate to other things and say it's about betrothal. This is not about betrothal. This is not about, the only context that betrothal adds or takes away from the conversation is about whether it's adultery or not, and even that is contingent upon whether or not the woman cried out. Fuerte, give it to a Maverick. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother Israel. Appreciate you, brother. God bless you, man. We have Aga Abbas. Thank you so much for having decorum and hanging out, brother. Are you still there? Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, brother. Are you? I'm good, brother. How are you? You are Muslim?
Yes,
all
alhamdulillah.
Right. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, thank you for joining up, brother. Christianity is more trustworthy than Islam. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I would say no, naturally. I'm a Muslim. But I would say at least 3 reasons for me. One reason is the Bible. Bible is not trustworthy. And the Christianity is relying on Bible. So can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Yeah. So the Bible is the first reason. The Bible is not trustworthy. It has many fabrications, contradictions. Secondly, I have 3 reasons. Secondly, the Jesus cannot be God, and secondly, believe that he is God. And thirdly, how Bible represents God, morality, or should I say, lack of morality. So I cannot believe Christianity can be right.
Okay, I'm gonna address. You went off on many points here. Let's talk about your first one. You said that the Bible's been corrupted and fabricated, and there's a lot of things that basically that's it. That it's been fabricated, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do me a favor. Show me anywhere. Give me any manuscript evidence showing that the Bible's been corrupted anytime ever.
Bible itself. Contradictions.
What contradictions?
To start with, just basic one is the genealogy of Jesus. Matthew and Luke contradict.
Matthew and Luke. That one is using the genealogy of Joseph. The other one is using the genealogy of Mary. Nice try. Try again. Where do
it doesn't
you
say
have?
that.
Where, yeah, it actually does say that. And on top of that, what I asked you is, do you understand what I mean when I say biblical corruption? I don't care. Respectfully, Abbas, I don't care what you think is a contradiction, which is blatantly not, and you classify that as a corruption. I'm asking you to show me when our manuscripts were corrupted and give us the proof, like the way that the Sana'a manuscript proves that your book is completely corrupted and laughably false. That's what I'm asking you for the Bible. Okay, where do you have this manuscript evidence, manuscript wide corruption, where some manuscripts say this, the other manuscripts have another message? Go ahead, give us that.
Yeah, so when I say the Bible in hand, what we have Bible in hand, in that I find contradictions. That is for you is nothing.
It's not about, well, it's not a contradiction because I already addressed it, and
No, you didn't.
and you making the claim that it's not two different genealogies just goes to show that you don't know what the Bible is actually saying, and that's not my problem. I asked you for corruption. Do you know what corruption means?
Brother, you are going very fast. You know that. Let me address what you just said. You say one genealogy is marriage genealogy. Prove it to me that is marriage genealogy in one of the Gospels. Prove it to me.
Here.
No, seriously.
Yeah, I will. Shut up.
That's nice.
I know it is.
Very Christian of
Corruption
you.
we're talking is more like Uthman rewriting the Quran. That's what corruption is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, prove that Usman rewrite the Quran, and I'll come back to you. I'll answer
the
that.
genealogies in Matthew 1 through 17 and Luke 3 23 through 38 are known to
Yes.
be different because they list almost entirely different sets of names between King David and Joseph. Matthew focuses on the royal line through Solomon to establish legal heirship, while Luke traces a separate biological line through David's son Nathan. The key differences that prove they are distinct genealogies include the different fathers for Joseph. Matthew lists Joseph's father as Jacob, while Luke names him as Heli. Different directions. Matthew goes forward in time, Abraham to Jesus, while Luke goes backwards, Jesus to Adam. Distinct lines from David. Matthew traces through Solomon, whereas Luke traces through Nathan, and the different structures show that Matthew uses 3 sets of 14 generations, while Luke uses a different, longer structure with 77 names in total. Joseph versus Mary. A common knowledge explanation is that Matthew records Joseph's royal legal line, showing Jesus is heir to the throne, while Luke records Mary's biological line, showing Jesus is a physical descendant of David, while Joseph being son-in-law to Heli. I mean, I can go on and on.
Oh, okay. So what you did, you read the opinion of a scholar rather than the Bible. When the Bible says, in Luke, it says that Jesus, the son of Joseph, who was a husband of Mary.
Okay, brother. Okay,
now,
listen. Stop, brother. Because
right.
I already addressed the lie of this contradiction, okay? And you're trying to obfuscate because you cannot provide what I asked you for. So I'm going to ask you one more time. Where do you see manuscript corruption, which is what I'm asking you for, of the Bible, of biblical scripture? Where do you see manuscripts that have different ideas and different messages and changed writings? Where?
Okay, first of all, that was not my claim, but I can answer that as well. According to scholars like Bart Ehrman, and there are passages in the Bible, like John 8, when the adult woman story, that doesn't exist in the original John. That exists 200 years after the manuscripts they found out. According to scholars, not me. And then also we know there are Bibles have 81 books.
What is Bart Ehrman's claim about biblical corruption? What does he say?
About this story, I told you a story of adulterous woman does not exist in the original.
There is no corruption.
Right. You're conflating two things and you're lying now about what Bart Ehrman's talking about because you're either misremembering or you're just being a typical lying Muslim. Okay. Because I asked you to give me Bart Ehrman's quote about biblical corruption. And Bart Ehrman's opinion, and I don't know why atheists love to quote Bart Ehrman because he is definitely not your friend and he laughs at your religion on a regular basis. And Bart Ehrman makes the claim, he makes the statement that there are textual variants in the New Testament, yes, and that they all equate to spelling and syntactual errors, and that none of them change the message. So I'm going to ask you now, Aga, unmute your mic and explain to me why you lied about what Bart Ehrman says about the New Testament manuscripts. Why did you lie?
What did I? So you're saying Bart Ehrman did not say that the story of adulterous woman does not exist in the original John? An original manuscript? He didn't say that?
I'm telling you that I'm asking you, why did you lie about Bart Ehrman stating that the New Testament manuscripts were corrupted? You started going in about the story of the adulterous woman. Even aside from that, even if we don't have that in our scripture, notice again, that's not what I asked you for. I asked you to show me in our manuscripts where the manuscripts and the message and the wording differ, changing the message.
Nice try, brother. You keep saying that, show me, and I'm keep showing you, and you keep saying, show me.
You're not showing me anything.
I show you another one. Ending of Mark Gospel does not exist in many manuscripts and exists in some manuscripts.
When you're intelligent enough to understand what biblical corruption means, come back to my show, brother. All right, come back to my show. I mean, this kind of stupidity, and understand, guys, that you guys do understand that every example that he used was already being quoted by church fathers way before these things were supposedly added to our scripture. You guys do understand that, right? Yeah. If they were not in the original manuscripts from the first century, which were obviously lost over time, then how were the original church fathers quoting them? Brother John, please speak on this, because maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not being effective in my communication. John, talk about the Common Johannium, talk about the ending of Mark, and explain to these dudes from a fresh perspective why that's not the contradiction they think it is. Please go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so I mean, a contradiction is going to be something that is going to be its proposition and its negation, or it's going to be something that is going to be extremely low in terms of probability. Whenever we talk about history, we're functionally talking about what is most probable, right? If we're looking at like science, or we're looking at, hey, I can test gravity and I can use like empirical methods to do so, then we're going to have like a higher probability on the knowledge that if I hold a glass up and I drop it and it falls and it's going to fall and shatter. When we talk about history, we have to talk in terms of probability. What is more probable and what is less probable? Whenever you are presented, like scholarship, when it pertains to the genealogies, there's multiple scholarly positions. One is one that you presented in terms of Joseph and Mary. Another is like Richard Balcomb's position. Richard Balcomb makes an argument and he says, hey, the actual distinction here is that Matthew, because he's doing like midrash, he has more of a legal lineage approach, and then one has more of like a messianic, Matthew has a messianic approach, and then Luke does like a biological and historical approach. And so Balcomb in his books talks about that there's a number of different things. And so what we want to ask fundamentally at the end of the day is, what is more probable? If it's the case, because you're also going to run into issues if you're going to say, okay, Matthew and Luke are differing because they're supposedly, right, using Mark, and I actually agree with this. I agree with something called Markian priority. They're using Mark as a source. They're using Mark as a source for what they are writing down in a number of things, and then they're also doing their own investigation. And Luke does it a little better than Matthew in terms of it, because Luke has different goals. But no, when someone brings up contradiction, I have no problem saying, yeah, there can be contradictions, but those contradictions are not going to impact anything theological. They're not going to impact anything that is foundational, right? If you want to say, hey, there's a contradiction and any contradiction is corruption, then you're just not using corruption in the same way, and you're not using contradiction in a way that is even impactful. Because if you're trying to use contradiction, most of the time when someone uses contradiction, is they say, hey, this is why your religion is false, is because the book has a contradiction. And then I say, okay, what would make the religion false if Solomon had contradiction? Is this like, oh, sorry, I heard myself twice. What would make it a contradiction if Solomon had 4,000 stalls or 40,000 stalls? What would that make Christianity false? And obviously the case is no. So in terms of teaching foundational message, fundamentals, you're not going to have anything like that is going to impact the crucifixion, death, resurrection, and Jesus being the Son of God.
Yep. Amen.
Abrogation for the Muslims would be an example of contradictions.
Yeah.
Oh, they would. They would have to. They agree that there's been abrogation, but abrogation aren't changes. That's just divine abrogation. And so,
but that's an
I would
example
love
of
to
what-
know. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
That's an example of what a contradiction actually is. When he goes, "Oh no, I didn't mean that anymore. You're no longer allowed to drink. It's haram." That is an abrogation, and that is a contradiction from his previous. Sure, go ahead.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing: the Quran has the same issues. The Quran has. So this is what I mean by a difference. There's something that is like a logical contradiction where you have a proposition and its negation, but then there's going to be something called a seeming contradiction. A seeming contradiction is going to be something, hey, it looks like these two texts are incompatible in some way. And so if you want to point that out in scripture and we say, okay, what is the most probable explanation regarding this? And you look at the Quran, you're going to see seeming contradictions all over the place just as much.
Absolutely.
And so
an example of a seeming contradiction would be Galatians 5 compared to Matthew 22. In Galatians 5, Paul is speaking to Christians and he says, the whole law is summed up in love your neighbor as yourself. Where in Matthew 22, Jesus is asked, what is the greatest commandment? And he says, love the Lord your God. And the second is like it, to love your neighbor as yourself. Paul's speaking to Christians. They already love God. They're fighting amongst themselves. So he doesn't bother with the first part. So it's not a contradiction because of that difference.
Yeah. But even then, guys, that's the thing is that we see, here's the thing. Muslims, you guys do know, right? And the only reason you guys even know about any variance in our manuscripts is because Christians have always admitted to it. We don't hide it, right? We don't hide our spelling errors. We don't hide our syntax errors. We don't hide things like 1 John 5:7 or the ending of Mark. We don't hide that. You know why? Because it doesn't matter in the grand scheme. None of it matters. None of it. What you guys don't understand what the word corruption means. When you tell me, show me that the Quran is corrupted, and I can give you one of many examples when we talk about things like the Sana'a manuscript, and it makes it clear through X-ray technology and radiocarbon dating that this is a pre-Uthmanic manuscript, and it says something very different. That's what I'm talking about, because you guys are claiming this amazing preservation, and there's a manuscript proving that this is not always what it said. That's what I'm talking about. Do you guys have anything like that? Oh no? Okay, great.
Yeah, Quranic preservation and abrogation is completely incompatible, right? Because then you can say, for any instance where it seems like there was Quranic corruption, that could have just been divine abrogation. So they give themselves like this really weird escape hatch that actually ends up trapping them in a prison.
Yep. Tawheed, you're on stage. Can you hear me? Tawheed on Video Ninja. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Tawheed, if you're talking, we can't hear you, brother. Also, what's this dude's name? I wanted to make this clear, guys, because we are live on X as well. Abu Jannah. Guys, any of my mods? There was a guy who was here. His profile picture is like a corn. Apparently, he came in and requested.
Now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, Tawheed. He requested and stated supposedly that he was here waiting and that we ignored him. I never saw his request because more than likely what he did was he requested, screenshotted it, and then withdrew it right away, just to be a coward so he can go on X and say, "Oh, by the way, I requested and he never let me up." I'm letting you know now. I'm letting you know right now, brother. Request up. I gave you the Video Ninja link. crossunit.net/call.
Yeah,
I will
that's
stop whoever
not.
I'm talking to.
I didn't see that person,
Yeah,
but
me neither. Because he requested up and he withdrew it. He requested up long enough to screenshot it so that he can go on X and puff his bony chest and say that he requested up and I didn't let him on here. But you
also
are not
people
here.
don't wait. People don't wait until it's their turn. Like you guys just want us to drop the person we're talking to take you up immediately. That's crazy.
And I made it clear to him that I would bring him up to the front, even if we were talking to somebody, that I would finish that conversation and bring him up. I check the multi-guest requests every minute or two. So there's no way that he was up here for more than 60 seconds because I would have seen that. And even then, there was still no way for me to know it was him. But I promise and guarantee you, hand before God as a father, that guy did not stay in here more than 60 seconds. You're a coward, dude. You're a coward. Tawheed, what's up, man?
Yeah, so I was just listening to you about abrogation, and I think you guys, were slightly confused about it, I would say. And you can question as to why I'm saying that.
Explain to us how we're confused.
So, yeah, abrogation at first, when you think about it, it sounds like it's a way of just changing, like moving the goalpost, yeah? So you have a rule and then suddenly, oh yeah, don't worry about it, we'll move on to the next sort of, it's essentially changing things around to make it seem like, but the thing is, actually, it has an actual reason, which is, for example, the alcohol was to make sure that the society was ready before the verse came. So, if Allah said, "Do not drink," to new Muslims, they would not have, because the society was built on drinking alcohol in the pagan Arabian time.
John,
am I making any sense?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, John, because you were just talking about this. So apparently he took issue with something you're saying. So go ahead.
Yeah. So what's your issue?
He's essentially saying that we are misunderstanding abrogation as it stands in the paradigm of Islam, and I guess he thinks that we are misrepresenting the idea of what abrogation is, especially as it stands in the way of perfect preservation of the Quran.
Yeah. So you brought up like drinking, for example, right? I'm not talking about like some like moral tenet or something like that. I'm talking specifically abrogation as it is applied to the text. So, for example, there are things that were. Let me just ask it in this way: were there things in the Quran, in the oral tradition, before it was like formed into a compiled book? Were there things that were in that book that are no longer in that book today?
No. So not like that. No. All of it is in there, except that Allah has revealed something different. For example, if you look at alcohol, when the revelation first came, it was all about Tawheed. It was to teach them about faith first, not about rules.
No. I'm talking the content of the. I'm talking specifically the content of the Quran. Are you saying that the content of what was?
Even if you read the Quran now, you'll see regarding when Allah says, for example, when you are praying, don't come while you're in a state of that you are drunk.
No. I'm not talking about drunkenness. So for example, there's a hadith, and I can pull up. Let me get on my computer. I can pull up actually a source.
Right.
There's a hadith that specifically says one of the best memorizers of the Quran, one of the best reciters of the Quran, talks about forgetting something that used to be in the Quran. And this is post the compilation. This is post actually compiling into a text. And so if it's the case that they're forgetting something, then that is something that is no longer in the book. And so the book you have today will not be identical.
Was he drunk by any chance? For example, this was prior to the alcohol prohibition.
No, he wasn't drunk. No. Here, I can find you the source. Give me 1 second.
You can give me the hadith number. I can look it up. But what you have to understand regarding.
So we lost him. Okay, it looks like he's coming back up.
Wasn't the alcohol prohibition before Muhammad died?
Yeah. So as I was saying, there were many companions. If one forgot, there were many more to remind. And I think if you're referring to when alcohol was still allowed, some of them would, of course, would not remember. So,
No, but these criticisms were after Muhammad had died, after the Quran had been compiled.
But the thing is, the Quran was memorized by many people. It's like an open source,
But they were
software,
dying
right?
off, which is why they collected it, and that's why the Quran is not in order.
Not exactly.
You don't know the revelation.
What?
So it's. I'm pretty sure it is.
Revelation.
Go ahead, John.
Because
Hold on, Chris. He found the hadith.
Yeah,
so when you're
sorry.
done, no. Finish your statement, and then we'll have John give his hadith.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
No, go. You go ahead.
Go ahead, John.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah. So if you can put it on the screen, it's actually Ibn Masud.
Ibn Masud. All right, let me bring it up. Give me a second.
Ibn Masud.
Unfortunately, I can't see.
I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share it with you.
He's gonna share it on the.
Yeah, I'll share it with you here. Give me a second, okay? Opera, I'll show it to you. Allow, and then
Yeah. So it's Sahih Muslim.
Oh
yeah, I see
okay.
now.
All right. So hang on. Let me shrink this a little bit, guys. I know this is not it. I haven't brought it up yet, so give me a second, okay? Okay. So I'll shrink. It's gonna look a little small on this side, but no. Then this was from earlier. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna bring it up here on TikTok, but I'm sharing it with you as well, so I have to do it like this. You said Sahih Muslim.
Yeah, Sahih Muslim. And it is 1050.
1050. All right.
Book of Zakat.
The Book of Zakat. All right, here we got it. Do you see this, right, Tawheed?
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to read it, John, or you want to read it, or?
Yeah, I can read it. I've got it.
All right, go ahead.
I've got it in front of me.
Go ahead.
So, notice in talking about the reciters, all right, it starts out saying, "You are the best among the inhabitants of Basra. For you are the reciters among them. So continue to recite it. But bear in mind that your reciting for a long time may not harden your hearts as were hardened from the hearts of those before you. We used to recite a surah which resembled in length and severity to Surah Bararat. I have, however, forgotten it, with the exception of this, which I remember out of it. If there were two valleys full of riches for the son of Adam, he would long for a third valley, and nothing would fill the stomach of the son of Adam but dust. And we used to recite a surah, which resembled one of the surahs of that word, and I have forgotten it. But remember this much out of it. O people who believe, why do you say that which you do not practice? And that is recorded is your necks as a witness against you, and you would be asked by it on the day of resurrection. Are either of those statements in the Quran that we have today?
I mean, this is just simply saying do not neglect the Quran.
Wait, answer my question.
Everything about the Quran has been
But
preserved.
wait a second. Answer my question. Are either of those statements from a full surah, right, that is similar, remember what it said, we used to recite a surah which resembled in length and severity to Surah Bararat, and I remember out of it this, and it gives two statements. Are either of those statements found in the Quran?
You're asking a very unnatural question.
Simple question.
Because it's not. This is simply saying do not neglect the Quran. Right?
No, it doesn't say anything like that.
Greedy for wealth.
I'm asking you specifically. Are these surahs? You said it's the same from the time of the revelation.
What surah are you referring to?
The surahs that are being represented here in the book of Zakat.
If he's been, which surah is it?
It's not there anymore. That's the point.
But
the entire surah is no longer
why
present.
Is it very, very hard to change the Quran? It's because it's memorized. If you go to China,
brother, please,
Australia, the Quran is the same. It's memorized.
Okay, listen. Is it the case
Al-Missing
that these surahs are in the Quran or they are not in the Quran? Which is it?
Which surah though? Because you're not making sense. Which surah? You have to have a surah in order to say this surah is missing or this surah is in the Quran, right?
The surah that is being referenced by Ibn Masud, who is meant, as the hadith states, you are best among the inhabitants of Basra. So this is the top of the line. This is Sahih Muslim. This is Ibn Masud, and it is specifically saying that he is one of the best of the reciters of the Quran, but yet he, as one of the best, has forgotten something, and then he gives a generalization of what he's forgotten, and he says it used to be, it was similar
You mean Surah At-Tawbah?
No, it's not. It's not a Tawbah, brother.
Surah At-Tawbah means forgiveness, chapter 9.
Brother, the surah's not in the Quran anymore. That's the point.
Surah. What do you mean?
He means
Is there
that
any-
this guy is saying that he doesn't have memory of this surah. It is no longer in the Quran. He's stating that there was stuff that he used to recite that is no longer in the Quran.
So I'm going to read it for you. I'll read it for you this part again, right?
Confused myself.
It says, we used to recite a surah which resembled in length and severity to surah.
I see now. You're getting
Bara'at.
confused. Go to chapter 9. This is what they are talking about. Is At-Tawbah, which means forgiveness. Chapter 9.
No.
It's not missing from the Quran. It's present. Go find. Go to
Listen.
chapter 9.
Okay. No, this is what I want you to show me in the Quran. Show me where there is a surah in the Quran anywhere that says there were two valleys full of riches. For the son of Adam, he would long for a third valley, and nothing would fill the stomach of the son of Adam but dust. Show me that surah in the Quran.
That's a hadith from the Prophet, meaning that the soul, you desire more and more. Like human nature.
Is that surah in the Quran?
But that's not a surah. You're not asking a legitimate question.
Then why does Ibn Masud call it a surah?
But the surah he was referring to was Surah At-Tawbah.
No. Listen to the words. I'm literally gonna break this down word for word for you right now. We used to recite a surah. Do you agree that when it says we used to recite a surah, that it is talking in the past tense?
Okay.
Do you agree?
Right.
Okay. We used to recite a surah which resembled in length to this other surah, Surah Bararat. Right? Resembled in length and severity to Surah Al-Bararat. So there used to be a surah that was recited by one of the best reciters of the Quran. He says he forgot it. And it is not, and here's what that surah used to say. However, I have forgotten it with the exception of this, which I remember out of.
I see what you mean. So, for example, many classical scholars like Ibn Hajar and An-Nawawi, they basically said it was not a Quranic chapter, but rather it was a kind of teaching. It was a passage which was teaching and supplication.
Tawheed.
John
has been very patient to you.
Chapter, right?
No, a surah is a chapter of the Quran, brother. You can't see. You're being dishonest, man. That's
No. Honestly, this is a scholar, Ibn Hajar. Look up many Ibn Hajar. Hajar. Right? He commented saying that forgotten passage, right, was a teaching or a supplication, not a Quranic chapter.
He lied.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Okay, I want you really quick. Can you go back to that one I had really quick? Is it? Oh, it's still there. Okay, yeah. I want you to pay very close attention to. Let me ask you this question: has the day of resurrection happened yet, according in Islam?
Day of resurrection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, not in the real sense. No.
It has not happened yet.
No.
Okay. So why would Allah So look at the last part. There's another surah. There's another one that says, we used to recite a surah which resembled one of the surahs of Musahibat, and I have forgotten it, but remember this much out of it. O people who believe, why do you say that which you do not practice? That is recorded in your necks as a witness, and you would be asked about it on the day of resurrection. So why would Allah reveal a surah that talks about a future event that will be asked of individuals on the day of resurrection and then abrogate it? Is he going to ask them about it or not? And if they don't have access to it and it has been abrogated, then how can he ask them about something they have no knowledge of?
Is that what you highlighted? Is that the...
Yes, there are two surahs in this hadith that the person Ibn
we used to
Masud...
recite a surah resembling in length. Is it that one?
Yeah, it says that twice. There's two different surahs. One of them talks about there being two valleys full of riches for the son of Adam who would long for a third valley, and nothing would fill his stomach with Adam but dust. That's what one surah used to say. And another surah specifically says, O people who believe, why do you say that which you do not practice? And that is recorded in your necks as a witness against you, and you would be asked about it on the day of resurrection. So Allah is revealing something that is going to happen in the future on the day of resurrection that is abrogated and no longer found in your Quran. It is not there.
Well, you know, I am literally looking into it for you to give you context.
No, you're looking for a way out because I've trapped you.
I'm not. Look, you know, Allah does not need defending. I don't need to lie for Allah because that would be wrong. I mean, Allah is the truth. Allah is the truth. He said that He doesn't need lying for. He's Almighty.
I don't want you to lie. I want the opposite. I don't want you to lie. I want you to be honest and say, hey, again, I'm going to give you a true dichotomy. It is either the case that these surahs in the hadith are found in the Quran or they are not found in the Quran. Do you choose A
what I
or do you
mentioned
choose
to you,
B?
the surahs you're talking about, or the passage.
Wait, choose A,
is
choose
not
A or
the
B.
Quran is a supplication, as I said earlier. And also, how does this benefit you in terms of this is a very technical stuff you're looking at. You know that.
What does that have to do with anything? I'm going to ask you the question again. Please answer it directly.
Like how will you benefit from this?
Answer the
what's
question
your
directly.
point?
The surah that is being recited and memorized by the person that is referenced in this hadith, are these two surahs in the Quran or not in the Quran? Pick one.
Dude, it's honestly is not a missing Quran. Scholars
Are
have
they
already
in the
explained
Quran
it's
or
a
not in the
dissertation
Quran?
or a teaching. It's not. It's not. It's a supplication or some kind of teaching. It's not the Quran. The Quran is memorized. It means, you know, the Quran. Allah says Allah has made the Quran easy to memorize. I've memorized some, even if I don't read it for months, I still don't forget it. That is the miracle of the Quran.
So the
And I'm not.
Okay, so
by the way, I'm not Arab as well. I'm not Arab. I don't speak Arabic, but I have memorized parts of the Quran, and it's very hard to forget. So imagine them speaking the Arabic language, being with a prophet. They're not going to forget.
Okay, so why is this hadith comparing the surah to other surahs in the Quran if it is not something that is, in its own words, resembling in length and severity?
As I said before, it's just some kind of supplication, but it's not Quran. For example, you know how we have dua, right? Like du'as are like...
No. That's not answering my question. My question is very specific. Why is the hadith comparing the surah that was forgotten? Why is the hadith comparing the surahs that were forgotten and that used to be recited to other surahs that are in the Quran?
I mean, I gave you scholarly answer. I mean, I don't know what you expect. You know, that's the best I can do.
You haven't given me any
It's
answer.
not even a clear cut. So anyway, going back to
You haven't given me any answer.
the main
I've asked you
topic that we
multiple
had
questions.
before, abrogation. So essentially, this was to prepare the believers.
Okay, Tawhid. So what you didn't do was you didn't provide anything, brother, respectfully, and I thank you for calling in. But you didn't. John walked you through it as patiently as someone could, and you didn't answer anything, and then you basically just waved it off, and were like, oh well, you know. It doesn't matter. You know, this is very complex, and I give you scholars. Muslims, I don't understand why you guys think that saying the word scholars means you're giving us an explanation. Because here's the thing. I am not of the opinion. Do I value the scholarship? Absolutely. Do I feel like I can't read something and understand it myself without a scholar? No. No, there are lots of things I don't need to go to a scholar for. When your own hadiths are saying something so clearly, why are you trying to go to a scholar that agrees with you? Because I assure you, for any scholar you guys go to that agrees with your extraordinarily ad hoc position, I can probably find 10 more that are going to agree with me. Because for the most part, scholars do what we do. They read it and they say, okay, this is what these words are. This is what they mean, right? I don't understand, man. I really hate when Muslims do that. They want to go to, and that's become a very popular trope in Muslim apologetics. It's like, well, this scholar this and this scholar that. Brother, just read the verse. Can we just read the verse? Can we read your book? Can we look at the words and just say what they mean? No, these guys think, oh, well, the scholars. And then a lot of the time you look at what these scholars are saying, and it's not even close to what they're saying that they say.
Yeah, and what I'm so he's saying that this was his position. This is what he had to say, is that the surah that was forgotten is actually not a surah at all. It's just a random teaching.
Yeah.
It's just a random teaching that they recited and that they took great care in memorizing. And it was a great teaching that resembled in length and severity to a surah that is found in the Quran.
Yeah. That's really sad, man. We will take on one more guest, guys. One more guest, and we'll go to Trippy Night. That the guy that was supposed to come here from X Guys reached out and says, oh, you know what? I just broke my fast. I prayed, about to eat, then pray. If you think for a second I'm going to neglect my obligations for a man who ignored 4 messages in his chat. Now, mind you, my moderators have already. If you guys think for a second that with all the platforms I'm on, I'm staring at the TikTok chat while I'm having conversations, that just goes to show how disingenuous this guy is. This is why I have mods that I trust here who are here on a regular basis. And even they confirmed that guy, his request wasn't up for more than 60 seconds because I check the guest requests on a regular basis to make sure that as somebody else is not requesting up who I'd like to be on my panel. Like, there was one time where I left Duran waiting there for like 20, 30 minutes, and I didn't even know he was there. So since then, I check my requests all the time. Because some of these guys want to come up just to chill so that they can bring their crowds to your stream. So I check it all the time. And I know for a fact that guy with the corn profile picture wasn't there. And then he says, moderated debate to kill the running on your behalf and nonsense. We can do it on your channel tomorrow. And I'll bring a mod for your panel. If you can't accept this, then add this to your clear evidence that you're ducking me. How many times have I mentioned this guy since we've been live, guys? Have I told you that I'm still waiting for him to come through? That I'm ducking him? Now, mind you, when Jake the Metaphysician called me out, right? When the Muslim Apologetic has called me out, when Central Dharma has called me out, I've taken up on it every single time. I have videos blasting Central, blasting the Muslim Apologetic, blasting Brazilian, blasting Jake the Metaphysician. Did I need to bring a Christian with me? No. I'm a grown man. I don't need to hide behind anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the difference between Christians and Muslims. You tell us to come up, we come up. I tell you to come up. You're tagging me over 100 times on Twitter for the last week ever since I blasted your boy and misrepresenting literally everything that I've said. I'm no longer interested in speaking to you, dude. You're not. Trippy, what's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
You said earlier that you have a bunch of historical documents that prove the Exodus event. Can you cite some of them for me?
What are you talking about?
the Exodus event, the plagues. You said that you have many sources that confirm it.
Yeah, have you ever heard of the Apur papyri? Papyri.
I have, but it doesn't date to the Exodus.
Okay, so did you hear what I said, or are you just? Did I say that?
Yes, I've heard what you said.
I said that it goes outside of the Bible, right? That it's extra biblical. Does that statement correlate to it dating to the Exodus? No, it doesn't, right? So why are you lying?
I'm not lying. I'm just saying that doesn't.
Either that or you don't understand what I'm saying.
I'm saying that doesn't date to the time that Exodus.
Did I say that it dated to the Exodus? Did anybody hear me say that? Did anybody hear me say that?
It should, shouldn't it?
No, it shouldn't. It doesn't have to, and nor did
Also,
I make
it doesn't have to.
did I make that position. So what do you want?
So it doesn't have to date to
Are
it.
you a Muslim?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so what do you want?
I'm just getting on here and trying to.
What does it say right there in the bottom? Because I can already tell by your tone of voice that I don't like you. What does it say right there at the bottom?
That's okay. I don't care if you like me.
I don't care for you to be on here. So does it say there any jackass request up, or does it say Muslim request up?
I mean, I like for Christians to be honest with the data that we have, to not lie about
I
it.
am being honest because at no point did I ever say, hey, guess what? We have things that date back to the Exodus events. No, I said that I can go outside of the Bible to documentation that talks about those things. Now, the fact that you heard something else just goes to show that you don't know how to listen.
Is it papyrus?
Hey, do me a favor. Listen to this. Get the hell out of my face. Clown. If you're gonna,
I will never understand why some Christians try to white knight for Muslims.
Yeah. Yep.
Milan,
what's up, man?
Hi, my brother, my dear brother. Can we just stand still for a moment for our friend?
You see me? Look, I'm standing still. Look.
Beautiful, brother. You know how much I love you, brother.
I love you too,
Christ bless you. Christ bless you.
So what's up?
Brother, I talk with together with brother Knight, brother Live in Peace, and some other brothers, brother Da Copo, with our best friend James Nuxel, Edward Nuxel. So please, brother, please pray for him. Everyone, please pray for this beautiful soul. He is just confused. He don't know a lot. Brother Life talk about El, the God, and all this trying to get away this confusion from him, and brother Knight talk about how you call that, the we, the us, the our in Quran. Why
are you talking about the guy I was just talking to?
Yeah, last time on your panel.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to say to everyone, to brothers, sisters in Christ, everyone who listen to this, please be patient with him and be kind to him, and don't treat him badly, because we have to show him that Christ is waiting for him, and that how you say that, and that we are the people of the truth. He needs to see that we are the people of the truth, and we love him more than he can imagine.
Yeah.
Because yeah, go on, brother, go on.
No, I was just gonna thank you. I thought you were finished. I wanted to address guys because Trippy is still in the comment section, right? And I just want to let you guys know that is just one example of what I was referring to. This was like at this point 2 hours ago, right? When you look at it, guys, just Google it, right? It'll tell you that the Papyrus Leiden, right? 344. This is the most famous text connected to the Exodus plagues. It is an Egyptian document often called the Admonitions of Epur. The copy we possess dates to the 13th century BC. 13th century BC, but most Egyptologists believe it was copied from a much older Middle Kingdom text. Key parallels with the Exodus include descriptions of the Nile turning to blood, widespread death, social collapse, and darkness. Examples from the text are quotes like, "The river is blood, yet men drink of it." And quote, the land is without light, and quote, the plague is throughout the land, blood is everywhere, end quote. And one that says, he who buried his brother in the ground is everywhere. Those lines resemble Exodus 7:20, where the Nile turns to blood, and Exodus 10:21, where the darkness covers Egypt. If we want scholarly sources to verify that, which I know you Muslims love, it says here, John A. Wilson, who wrote the ancient Near Eastern text relating to the Old Testament, and that's out of the Princeton University Press, and that's just the one that I looked up. There's few more. So at the end of the day, guys, the problem is that people come in here with a chip on their shoulder, right? And they want to sit there and they want to try to call you on something that you did not say, because nobody in here, and I'll go back on the VOD. As a matter of fact, here, if you go back on my VOD, this one or the one before the power went out, and I said that they date back to the plagues, I'll delete my whole YouTube channel right now. That's how sure I am that I know that I did not say that. Okay? Because I wouldn't say that knowing full well that it's not true. I'm saying that there are historical documentation making references to that are extra biblical, because a lot of people care that there are things that can be proven extra biblically. I don't have a problem with that, because we don't have, when it comes to extra biblical proof for a lot of biblical stuff, we have an embarrassment of riches as well. You see, guys, in Christianity, we're not afraid to prove to you what we're saying. No, you're good, bro. You're good. We're not afraid to prove to you what you're saying, because as you can see, I will thank you, Muslims, and this is how I'll end off. Okay, this is how I will end off. When I made 100,000 subs on YouTube, and thank you guys. Today we actually hit 103,000 subs on YouTube, so thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. And we hit 10,000 followers on TikTok the other day, which is also a milestone for me. That's only because of the glory of God. But I will thank the Muslims for this, right? And in my 100,000 subs thank you video, I actually thanked Muslims for this. Because you guys inadvertently created a movement so large and so furious you can't stop it, right? If it wasn't because of the way that you guys get on lying about our hermeneutics, lying about our Messiah, lying about our Bible, lying about our entire faith, people like me and John may have never met, right? People like John and the other John wouldn't be together all the time doing the same thing we're doing here right now. People like God Logic wouldn't be out there doing the polemics all the time. Fearless Truth, right? You have so many people out here, Bear the Image, Albie, I mean, countless apologists now teaming up, J49er, Rob Christian, and every single time we hear a Muslim saying something stupid, we address it right away. And we do it with proof. The other day, guys, Libiano got on X. And he took offense to the fact that somebody got on X, I think it was a Christian, and said, with a comedic connotation, that Muhammad rode into heaven on a winged horse or a winged donkey, right? Then, and you guys don't think I'm lying, Libiano says this guy doesn't even know his own Bible, because in 2 Kings, it was in 2 Kings or 1 Kings, I forget, where Elijah was taken up to heaven in a whirlwind. Chris, was that 1st or 2 Kings? It's 2 Kings, right? When Elijah gets taken up to heaven in a whirlwind, is that 2 Kings or 1 Kings?
I can't remember.
Yeah, let me know.
Sorry.
But in the book of Kings,
I think it's First Kings.
First Kings.
I'll check it for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Libiano says that Elijah rode a winged horse of fire up to heaven. That's not what the verse says. The verse makes it clear that Elijah was taken up to heaven in a whirlwind. And because a horse was mentioned, he tried to conflate that and make the statement that Elijah rode a winged horse up to heaven. That's not what the Bible says. But here's the thing, guys. These are the kinds of things that we see as Christian apologists online every single day. And I thank God that he has put me in a position of privilege to teach people. Because here's the thing about people like Libiano, Dean Responds, and all of the other ones. The book of James makes it clear that when you are a person in authority and you teach things incorrectly, you're going to suffer a worse judgment. I just want you guys to know that. God takes that very seriously. Very, very seriously. Chris, did you want to say something?
Oh, that's like the
2 Kings
unforgivable
2:11.
sins.
I'm sorry, what?
2 Kings 2:11.
It was 2 Kings. Okay, cool. 2 Kings 2:11. And Chris, you were saying that's what now?
The unforgivable sin is to talk against the Holy Spirit.
Correct.
So when you're misrepresenting the actual message from God,
Yeah.
that's what you do.
Yeah. Yep. And I find it, but at the end, guys, this is what I'm trying to get at, is that Jesus made it clear a long time ago that the world was going to hate us, but that to remember that it hated him first, right? And as you can see every single day, that sentiment is alive and well and multiplying exponentially on a daily basis, right? Nobody does this better than Muslims, that they lie about Jesus Christ. But what's even more pathetic about it is that they do so under the guise of pretending like they love Jesus so much. You don't love Jesus. You don't even know who Jesus is. Your prophet was illiterate and a manipulator, and he lied about our Messiah. And here we are 1400 years later with a bunch of people thinking that they know better about Jesus Christ than we do, despite the fact that historically they have nothing to corroborate the things that they believe about Jesus. Their apologetics amounts to the Quran says so, therefore it's true. No. So thank you, Muslims, for getting on here every single day and doing the things that you do every single day and allowing apologists to basically coalesce the army that we have and making sure every single day that we are putting our boots on your throats and exposing your lies for what they are, right? Thank you to all the other apologists out there. Thank you to Apostate Prophet and David Wood and Giant DOC and Word Unboxed and Chris Oakey and Bought by Blood, The Big John Steele Show, God Logic, Life Rants, The Cross Unit, The Young Christian, A Young Christian's Thoughts, Grafted Apologetics, $1, J49er, Rob Christian. I can go on and on and on. And you guys hate us, not because we're lying. You hate us because you can't stop us. Brother John, I want to give you the final thought on that because you're the guest here and I'm really honored you're here. So go ahead, brother.
Oh no, I really appreciate you having me up, and it's been fun. I've kind of just been sitting in my PJs getting some work done. I just came by. I said, "Hey," and you're like, "Come up." I'm like, "Hey, why not?" So
yeah, man,
been doing some church work in the background, but no, I definitely appreciate the bringing me up on the panel and hanging out, and I will be more than willing to come up anytime you're willing to have me.
Absolutely. You're welcome anytime. You don't even got to ask, brother. As a matter of fact, guys, Bought by Blood, please follow his TikTok. Please follow him on all his social media. He goes live quite regularly with Big John Steele, and check that out too if you're not following John Steele here on wherever you're at, wherever you're watching me, whether it's on X, TikTok, YouTube. Guys, we are literally live right now on YouTube, 2 iterations of YouTube Shorts live, Twitch, X, and TikTok. Wherever you're following, follow them on all their social media. They're doing amazing work. It's actually quite comical when Abby and John are live. Their show just has so many things to offer. And I'm telling you right. So I'm not gonna lie. When John Steele is
comical,
live,
right?
oh dude, when John and John are live, I'll put them on, especially like when I'm editing or something because I'm listening, right? I end up pausing that show probably at least every 15 seconds because I can't concentrate because I'm constantly laughing at the stuff that they're doing, right? So now I have to stop this show and stop this video or the live stream because I can't get through like what it is because John is either saying something like off the cuff or the other John is saying something crazy and I'm like, oh my God, these guys are killing me. So I can't do it. I just can't. But it's such a good time.
It'll bring Big John comfort to know that he's hindering another ministry.
I'm gonna message him and tell him, hey, John, Big John, or apparently Little John said that Big John doesn't want other ministries doing ministry stuff. He's gonna
He's like you did it again, John Steele. Your live stream has stopped another ministry from editing their material. Great. No, I really appreciate it, and just thanks for having me up, and we'll continue just
knocking them out, man.
Muslims on the menu 2026.
That's it, baby. And it's not, guys, it's not getting any better for them. It is not getting any better for them. Also, follow Chris Oakey, guys. He is coming up on YouTube. He's been dropping stuff on TikTok. Chris and I are going to get together. I want to help him out on his on his YouTube journey, man. He makes great stuff. His hermeneutics is on point. He's actually a Bible. He went to Bible college after the army, so his knowledge is top notch, man. He goes and he calls into Muslim lives. They end up blocking him and removing him, which doesn't surprise me. I ended up having those experiences many times with Muslims. I got kicked off Jake the Metaphysician show. I got kicked off numerous. I was with Duran Dorsey one time on a Muslim panel. As soon as I requested up, I got up and they booted me right away. Said they didn't want to talk to me. So that's how you know the mission's getting done, guys. That's how you know it's getting done, because the minute they see you, they don't want to talk to you. And that really is a shame, but that's unfortunately when the deceit meets truth. That's unfortunately the result you're going to get a lot of times. So it means that you're doing the right thing here, guys. I love each and every one of you, man. John, Noel, Word, Milan, Chris.
God bless, brother.
God bless, man. You guys are absolutely amazing. I'm going to go ahead and get off, spend some time with the kids. As always, guys, be safe, be good, be blessed. Jesus is King, and guys, most importantly, the only way to heaven. Have a good one.